Hello. My name Doppio. You guys knew that. Last name Dropscythe. I hope you guys knew that. Alright. Hello. Hi. We're playing Putrika. Rather, we're reading Putrika? Part 2 of Putrika. So, if you guys didn't already know, this is a part 2. We played part 1 on Sunday, I think. I think it was Sunday. We played part 1 on Sunday. And we got through, I think, like 4.5 hours of it. I think that there are 2 more hours of story left. But the way that things kind of played out was that we took the story nice and slow, laughed at everybody named John. What else did we do? We also kind of got really invested with the story because everything started going wild. Everything started going like really wild, right? John again? Yeah, not John again. Things got really wild. We did a lot of voice acting. We did a lot of narrating. Mika2! Thank you very much, Mika2. Twists every turn, yeah. We got to the part where I think the main girl is now remembering who she is. So the way that the story starts is that there's this girl. This girl, actually. The title girl. Oh no, not the title girl. The girl on the title screen, her name is... Oh god. I'm so bad with remembering names. But anyway, so white-haired girl, she wakes up and she has amnesia. And she's got like no idea where she is or what's going on. Lazriel, yeah, Lazriel. Yeah, Lazriel, or Lazzy for short. You need a recap? I need a recap too. So her name is Lazzy, and she wakes up, and she's got no idea what's going on. She's got amnesia. And I think one of the first things she sees is this cute boy who calls himself a demon. Cute demon boy. His name is Remy. His name is Remy. Cute demon boy is like, alright, I'm gonna take care of you. Here, you can live in my house. And then so she starts living at his house. She wakes up. It turns out that he lives in a really nice, kind of like, he lives in a really nice house in the woods. And she wakes up and he gives her breakfast. And she's like, dang, I like this boy. I really like this boy. But then it turns out that there's like this tsundere girl, and you kind of feel like there's like a little love triangle for a while there, because the tsundere girl, her name's Ruby. Rubia. She really likes Remy as well. And she's like, how dare you, random amnesiac lady, coming in, destroying my happy little life. Ayu, welcome to the arcade. Welcome. My favorite? Yeah. Tsundere girl is my favorite. And even though Lazzy tries to befriend Ruby, Ruby's like, nah, I'm not into you. Nah, get away. And it's only until Ruby's like, hey, let's get out of the house. And Lazzy's like, no, one of the rules is that I'm not supposed to get out of this house. Because Remy says that it's dangerous outside of this house. Ruby's like, nah, and it's okay. If you go, I'll tell you a secret about Remy. And because Lazzy really likes Remy, she's like, alright, I'm gonna go with you. But then Ruby kind of like says, Ruby, like after leading Lazzy into like the middle of the woods, she's like, hold on, I gotta pee. And then Ruby takes forever to pee, and Lassie goes looking for her. She goes deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods, and then she gets attacked by like a beast. By a beast. Right? And she's like, oh no, I'm gonna die. But then, hold up, wait a minute. Remy's there to save the day. Remy's there to save the day. And now Lassie's like, oh, Remy, you saved me, my hero. And then after going home, they're like, and then while they're going home, Lassie's like, yo, what happened to Ruby? She's safe? And Remy's like, Ruby's at home. She tricked you. She was gonna leave you out to die. And Lassie's like, no way! Did she? Yeah, she did. Ruby's like, it's because I don't like her. She's stealing away from me. And then Lassie's like, yeah, that's kind of... And Remy's like, yeah, that's kind of lame of you. I don't like you. And Ruby's like, no! And Lassie's like, no, I don't. I forgave you. And Ruby's like, you forgive me? Okay, we're best friends now. So now they're best friends. Now the two girls, Ruby and Lassie, are best friends. And then Ruby's like, alright, since I'm your best friend now, I'm gonna hook you up with Remy. Hey, why don't you go on a date with Remy into the town? And Lassie's like, alright, cool, I'm gonna do that. And then Lassie and Remy go to town, because like Remy's gonna go to work, so their date is literally just like walking to town. And then they're like, wow, this place is kind of nice. I like this place. This isn't bad at all. I like going places with you, Remy. And Remy's like, aw, but I gotta go to work. So you just chill around. And Lassie's like, okay, I'm gonna chill around. Lassie, who's just chilling around, she runs into this really weird angel lady. And then Angel Lady's like, hey, you're gonna go buy me a piece of bread. And she's like, I don't even know you. Angel Lady's like, no, you're gonna buy me a piece of bread. And Lassie's like, okay, fine, you cute, I'm gonna buy a piece of bread for you. And then she buys a piece of bread. And it turns out that the piece of bread was given by this like old woman. Old woman comes like, and he's like, oh, you want any piece of bread? I give you a piece of bread. And then old woman's like, hey, you can have this piece of bread I can finally eat. And Lassie takes a bite and she said, yeah, this bread pretty banging. This bread pretty banging. This bread pretty banging. And then a guy pops up. The guy, a random man pops up and he's like, yo, that bread cursed because it's the bread of a witch. It's evil bread. And Lassie's like, you made me eat evil bread? and then she's like, and then the guy's like, the only people who can survive eating evil bread are witches. And Lassie's like, there's no way I'm a witch, right? I just have dreams of my past life. But I can't be a witch because I don't have big boobs. Okay, there's kind of like a subplot about here. So she has these dreams, right? She has these dreams about being a girl who she describes as having big boobs, bigger boobs than her. She's like, there's no way it can be her, but these dreams feel so realistic, right? And then she snaps back into reality, and she's like having like this panic attack because the guy's like, only witches can survive eating that bread, can survive eating evil bread. And she's like, oh no, I ate evil bread. I better not tell anybody I ate evil bread. And she goes home and she's like, I'm gonna put evil bread in the fridge. And then she wakes up this morning and she's like, I better toss out evil bread. And she's like, wait, evil bread? It turns out her best friend, Ruby, ate evil bread. And she's like, you ate evil bread? Oh God, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. But Ruby's like, I'm fine, bro. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine, bro. There's no such thing, evil bread. And she's like, oh, you didn't get, no, there's no such thing as evil bread? Man, I'ma go to the village and give that man a piece of my mind. I'm giving him a piece of my mind. He's saying that there's things called evil bread. Nah, screw that. Screw that evil propaganda about evil bread. Then she goes to the village again. She's like, I'm going to the village. I'm giving that guy a piece of my mind. Hitting him before other people think that that old lady giving evil bread. She goes to the village. And then what she sees at the village, the old lady's getting... old lady's getting medieval done. She's getting burned at the stake. They think she's a witch. Her bakery's burned down. She's screaming. It's kind of horrible, actually. And then Lassie, she has a panic attack, and then she passes out. And then what happens after that? She has like a panic attack. She passes out. The angel's like, oh, I'm gonna help you remember who you really are. You know that big booby girl that you dream about? That was actually you, bro. That was actually you. She's like, no, that can't be me. That can't be me. And Remy's like, hey, stop having a panic attack. That wasn't you. That wasn't you. Stop having a panic attack. She's like, okay, if the boy like says stop having a panic attack, I'm gonna stop having a panic attack. I'm not gonna kill all the villagers now, cause my boy, he said stop. My boy, he said stop. And then Angel's like, darn, I would have been able to have you kill the entire village if it wasn't for you meddling boy. And then now Lassie's like, Remy, I don't understand. Why do I have these weird dreams? I don't get it. And Remy's like, alright, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the big secret. You actually wasn't big booby girl at all. Actually, you're a rock. And then Lassie's like, I'm a rock? Yeah, you a doll, and you also a rock. And she's like, I'm your rock? And he's like, yeah, you my rock. But let me tell you that you're just a special rock. And she's like, tell me the story about how I'm a special rock. And he's like, all right, I got you. And then he's like, I got you. But first, you're gonna have to remember. You're gonna have to remember everything. And she's like, all right, I'm gonna remember everything. And then now we're kind of seeing the real story of what's going on about her dreams. Because in her dreams, her dreams are kind of told in a way that's kind of like being told through a book by some writer named John. All right. But it turns out Remy's like, you know, that story, actually, it's really just an angsty fic. He's like, let me just tell you the real story. It's not, he's like, it's actually not that angsty. Your daddy's AO3. Your daddy's AO3 account. It's too angsty. It was so angsty it confused you. Let me help you remember what really happened. Hey Doppio, I'm still mad at you for all those things you did, but my 63 kids want to know if you'll be playing Donkey Kong Bonanza when it releases for Nintendo Switch 2 on July 17th. Hi, Vox Aqua and your 63 kids. I would love to play Donkey Kong Bonanza for Nintendo Switch 2 when it releases on July 17th. But I do not have a Nintendo Switch 2. I do not have a Nintendo Switch 2. And I don't believe I'll be getting a Nintendo Switch 2 for a while. It's so hard to get one. Where I am, Fox, it's so hard to get one. Like, it's impossible to get one. I've been searching, I've been looking, and the only way that I can get it is if I like find a scalper who's selling for like 3 times the price. I cannot get a Nintendo Switch 2 on time. I will though. I will get it. I'll eventually get it. At one point, when like a bunch of games popped out, for it, and I'm like, you know what? I can't hold it in anymore. I can't hold it down anymore. I'm going to buy a scalped Nintendo Switch 2 for like 3 times the price. Then I'll play Donkey Kong Bonanza. This is so sad. My nephew's in hysterics and crying. Hopefully he can play it soon. I want to play it. I want to play it. Actually, my first ever Nintendo 64 game was Donkey Kong Nintendo 64. And it got me so hooked into video games that I kept going to like my cousin's house to like play it all the time. I had no idea what was going on. I just wanted to play the funny monkey. I would get so mad because I was like, how do I get the red banana? I can't get the red banana. Because like you have to be Diddy Kong to get that. I'm not gonna be Diddy Kong, I want to be Donkey Kong. Anyway. So I've always really wanted to play like a nice like DK platformer ever since like Nintendo 64 Donkey Kong. I haven't been able to play in so long. Now that I understand the difference between red bananas and yellow bananas. But yeah, when I get a Nintendo Switch 2, that's on my list of games to play for real. But yeah. So in the meantime, you're gonna have to play it for me, buddy. I'm gonna have to watch your gameplay of it. So yeah. Anyway, Tampopo, thank you very much, Tampopo. Appreciate the lovely magenta super chat. Phoebe says you must be swept in Mario Kart World. Honestly, I can't even play Mario Kart. Like I keep wavering about actually buying a Nintendo Switch 2. I keep wavering. I'm like, do I pay triple price for it? And I'm like, man, I just can't. Anyway, so now we are discarding Dad's angsty AO3 angsty adventure of his daughter dying. His fanfic. We are discarding the fanfiction of the dad's daughter dying, and finding out that actually the dad's daughter wasn't somebody who was in love with an angel that was invisible. She was actually in love with somebody who was actually visible, and we believe that it's her cousin. Anyway, let's keep going. So yeah, we are now in the big boob girl's memories. And we're going to figure out why the big boob girl was burned at the stake. Like, why was she really burned at the stake? Oh wait, no, she actually wasn't burned at the stake. We're going to figure out why they tried burning her at the stake. Yeah, anyway. Okay, so the girl, the white-haired girl with blue eyes, is what we believe is her cousin. And we're in the perspective of the big boob girl. What was her name again? I completely forgot her name. Oh, Elsa. Anyway, Milan says, yeah, 100 out of 100. Exactly how I remember the story going. It's been almost a week since I played it. I'm surprised that I could remember this much. I can't even remember the lyrics to London Bridge. She would tease me with such questions. The thought that I might compare the two pained me more than words could express.
あなた様は私の言葉を信じてくださるのですね。天使を見たっていう？はい。街の中でもそれを信じてくれる人は家族だけでした。同世代の子供たちからはバカにされて。
Thank you for the recap, you're welcome. But you should probably just like watch my playthrough of it earlier to actually get the real story. I feel like I did the story like 5% justice, guys. The story's actually been fantastic. Like, there's a reason why we're doing a part 2 so soon. And it's because it's like, wow, it's a great story.
疑う理由がないもの。この世界の小さな奇跡はあちこちに散らばっている。私はそのすべてを知っているわけではないわ。
Asami says, to add to that Nintendo Switch 2 bank, and for the bang and recap and bread. Oh, thanks, Asami. You mean that evil bread. But thank you so much, Asami A. Appreciate you a lot. She saw a much larger picture of the world than a simple country girl like me could imagine. With a heart wider than the sea, she easily accepted the parts of me that the villagers could not.
町の人が私に下品な視線を向けてくるのです。肌を見せないような格好にしようかと何度も悩みました。ですが、私の好きなものを曲げることがどうしてもできなくて。
Okay, so what's going on is that so the girl Elsa, the one whose POV we're looking at right now, the one who had a tragic ending, she's well endowed, but it's getting her very unwanted attention from the men in the village. And she hates it. She super hates it. She mega hates it. Like in the fan fiction her dad wrote, he wrote that the priest, you know, lusted after her so much that he just essentially like orchestrated a plot to convict her as a witch. Yeah.
君の発育の良さは目に毒かもしれないわね。
She giggled.
冗談ではありません。以前に見ないでくださいと口にしたら、そんな格好をするなと怒鳴られてしまいました。私は悔しくて、見られたくてこの格好をしているわけじゃないのに。
Yeah, she just wants to dress the way she wants to dress.
君のその愛らしい格好がとても好きよ。
Lucy embraced my individuality readily.
それでも君は自分のしたい格好を貫いている。人々にとっては異様に見えても、
Oh, good!
だから、君はそれでいいの。いつまでも可愛くて魅力的な君でいてほしい。
I like that. Be cute the way you want to be. Oof. She accepted all that I was. She was the only person in the entire world who did.
自分の感覚を大切にする人でありなさい。大きな声や流れに揺られているだけの人とは違う。周囲から孤立することを恥じる必要はないわ。もっと。
I was on the verge of tears. To someone like me who always stood out like a sore thumb, her words were like a magic balm.
あなた様はどうして私が欲しい言葉を。
She did so easily what others could not. She was truly an angel.
イルサ。
Her smile, merciful and gentle, melted my heart. I could not comprehend the feelings that dwelled within me. I believed that my feelings for her were those of a dear friend and an ardent believer, nothing more.
イルサは好きな男の子はいるの？気になる人とかいない？
The day she broke that topic, I felt as if my heart was being skewered.
いませんよ。男の子なんて怖いだけですから。
Guys, it's the doomed Yuri. Oh god. Oh
イルサは
no.
可愛いから引く手あまただと思ったのに。
The truth of the doomed Yuri.
それはルシーさんにふさわしい言葉です。私は
Going to sleep, Asami? Good night. Lucy looked far off into the distance.
恋とは少し違うような気がするけど、面白いなって思ったのはあの時の。
Ooh, I didn't have the courage to listen to her reminisce. The thought that she might yearn for someone else sent me into turmoil. Finally, I understood how I felt about her.
私は恋焦がれている。
It would have been better had I never realized. Oh no, they're not gonna kill her because she's a witch. They're gonna kill her because she's... No, that's even worse. No, no way. That's not the way this is gonna play out. No, oh god. The shock upon discovering my own feelings sent me spiraling.
なぜ私はこのような気持ちを抱いてしまったのでしょうか。
The panic and guilt threatened to tear me apart and consume me whole. It was unthinkable for someone of my faith to engage in acts of homosexuality. Ooh. Ooh, I didn't think it was gonna be this way. No, oh no. Oh, my poor girl. To hold these feelings was akin to betraying the Lord. He would not allow for a woman to love another woman.
痛い。痛い。
Poor girl. I knew my love was forbidden, yet it still would not fade. I covered my face in shame that I could not face my guardian angel, but a part of me was willing to accept even that. Guys. My love for Lucy could not be contained. I yearned for her.
イルサ。
Guilt tried to weigh me down, but the slightest utterance from her lips released me. To love her was my purpose, one that carved itself deeper into my heart with each moment we spent together.
リュシー様。
Gosh. She had become a divine figure of my love and my worship.
私は汚れてしまったのでしょうか。
The Lord would not forgive me for having such thoughts. Love between those of the same sex was a deplorable sin. Ooh. With love driving me into turmoil, I turned to the church for guidance. I wanted to immerse myself in faith and become the devout believer I once was. I am glad to see you've been obedient to the Lord's teachings. Every word the Reverend spoke tore me apart. As long as my guardian angel watched over me, my impure urges would surely be laid bare.
近くの町で魔女が発見されたようです。神の意志に抗う邪悪な存在。
Are they going to burn her? No. The Reverend did not know I harbored such thoughts.
魔女はどんなことをするのですか。
人を騙して陥れる。悪魔と契約を結び、悪魔崇拝の儀式に参加し、みだらに交わることでその力を得ようとしたり、人々や動物に病や死をもたらす呪いをかけ、貧困にあえぐ人々を苦しめたり、毒草の扱いに長け、気に食わない人物を呪い殺そうとしたり、おおよそ人間の所業ではありませんね。
そんなことが本当に。
I did not care at all about the witches. The thought that may have violated the Lord's teachings was all that occupied my mind. Oh.
神父様。
I mustered my courage to seek his counsel.
もし主の教えに反する恋をしてしまったらどうすれば
She
よいのでしょ
wasn't
う
in love with an angel. What the heck? Oh, okay, hold on. I can make myself smaller. There. Alright. Hope that's okay.
難しい問題ですね。
The Reverend seemed troubled by my inquiry.
人は罪深い存在です。誰もが情欲を抱くことはありえます。しかし、 己を律することが私たちの信仰において最も重要なことです。その恋心はあなたを真の幸福へと導くことはないでしょう。
そんなことはありません。
I should not have spoken up. Taken the wrong way, it was as if I had objected to the Lord's teachings. But my feelings drove me to tears as I blurted out in passionate defense of my love.
そんなことはありませんから。私はちゃんと幸せです。たとえ神聖な方に思いを寄せてしまったとしても。
However, what I spoke was easily misconstrued. From an outsider's perspective, I must have looked like a love-struck village girl confessing to a priest she adored. Reverend Blackwood saw— No!
イルサはいくつになりましたか？
The Reverend's eyes narrowed, shining now with it. Oh!
気難しい子ではありましたが、大きく育ちましたね。
Something foul was beginning to unravel itself in these sacred grounds.
そうですか。禁じられた恋とは、そういうものです。
Gross.
まだ早いと思っていましたが、時期が来たのかもしれませんね。あなたが望むのであれば、真実の愛を教えて差し上げましょう。
Zipporah says, Zilby, thank you for the incredible Sapphic game. It's a wonderful birthday gift. Happy birthday, Zipporah. It's tragic, though, bro. The Reverend smiled. Gone was the noble priest who preached the scriptures, and in his place a beast revealed its fangs.
神父様。
Oh god, he really is a simp. My voice shook. I couldn't understand what he meant. I grew fearful.
さあ、こちらへ来なさい。
Oh
心
god.
配することはありませんよ。これも私の役割の一部です。多くの人が経験していることですから。
He's so slimy. Ice ran down my spine. That we were still in church did not register in my mind.
勘違いです、神父様。私はそのようなことを求めては。
ご安心なさい。あなたの告白は今日限りの秘密です。他人に話すことはありませんよ。
William's warning resurfaced in my mind. That the Reverend was a womanizer, Monster 2. That he abused his authority to lay his hands on housewives and freely indulge in thrills and corruption. The reality of his warning suddenly hit me. Once I understood what the Reverend intended to do, I was assailed by an urge to vomit.
気持ち悪い。
The thought of a man touching me evoked the violent feeling of repulsion.
気持ち悪い。
The Reverend finally realized his mistake. But he could not take back what he said. There was no turning back for him.
誤解させるようなことを口にしないでいただきたい。危うく不純な誘いに過ちを犯すところだったじゃないか。
He began chastising me.
お前は男を惑わせる娼婦のような女だ。教会へ足しげく通っていたのも私をからかうためか？他の男たちにも色目を使っているからつまはじきにされているのだろう。
神父様。
With ragged breath, he spoke in a rough manner that I had never heard from him before. He was the one to misconstrue my intent. He tried to assault me, and now he saw it fit to blame me for his actions. I could not believe he was this kind of person.
もしこのことを軽々しく口走ってみろ。 お前をこの町にいられなくしてやるからな。
All the kindness he had previously shown me had vanished into thin air. Perhaps it had all been an act to begin with, a ploy to get close to girls my age. Yes. As I hurried home, I lamented that I had no one to confide in. I found myself desperately wishing for what happened in the church to have been a dream. Still, I could not suppress my feelings, which continued to torment me day by day. I decided that yearning for others was the gravest sin one could commit. I convinced myself that I had to be above it, that I didn't feel it at all.
今日は誰かと一緒だったの？遅かったわよね。
My mother would be saddened if she knew I loved the woman. I was never good with lies, so it took me a few moments to find the right words to say. Mostly lies, with a hint of truth.
実はね。
I could have remained silent, but I was overcome with the urge to express how I felt in some form.
好きな子ができたの。今日はその子と一緒にいて。
The moment those words left my lips, something washed over me. The desire to meet Lucy against all odds surged, burned, and brought me to tears.
まあ。
Simply putting my feelings into words for the first time affected me deeply. But I dared not speak any further.
ついにあなたにも好きな男の子ができたのね。お母さん嬉しいわ。
Every word she spoke in elation pierced through my heart like a stake. I couldn't tell if I was maintaining my smile. I'd spent my life enduring the stare of others, so surely I could keep up the charade now.
先日話題にしていた男の子のことかしら。そのうち紹介してくれる？おもてなししないと。
I felt like I was tightening a noose around my own neck. I never imagined that my heart could feel so much pain. To reassure my family, I had hidden my vulnerabilities all this time. I had endured the pain of making that choice my whole life.
今度町でお祭りがあるわ。あなたの思い人と一緒に行くのでしょ？だったらおしゃれをしないとね。
ありがとう、お母さん。
Did I smile enough when I received my aunt's gift from my mother? Was I able to properly act like the happy daughter for her?
彼に見せてくるね。
Caught it. I had learned to separate my head and my heart long ago.
いってらっしゃい。
I could not bear to look at the lapis lazuli gem my mother gave me. Ooh. Driven by an unbearable agony, I ran. The world around me blurred. My heart felt as if it was being torn apart by chains that tried to tie me down. Still, I could not resist the urge to break free and head to the woods where we always met.
Elsa.
She's always in the woods, this girl. She greeted me as if she had known I was coming. The sight of her smile alone was like a bright light upon my weary heart.
どうしたの？かわいいお顔が涙でボロボロよ。
She gently wiped my tears away. To be enveloped by her gaze was enough to free me from all my misery. So much. In that moment, I came to terms with how I felt. My heart could no longer turn back. My love for her only grew even more genuine the more it was denied.
聞いてください。私は。
I was afraid she might reject me. I was afraid she would not understand me. Even so, I had to tell her how I felt. I would make the entire world my enemy to stay true to these feelings.
あなた様のことが
Oh god, it's so well written. Oh no. My confession ended before I could voice it. She drew close and silenced me with a tender kiss. At least they kissed. My heart exploded. Every emotion I tried to push down poured out and left me trembling. I felt sublime pleasure as my heart experienced happiness in every form possible.
リュシー様
She looked at me wistfully as she shook her head. That she seemed determined to convey her feelings to me through action rather than words left me overjoyed. But the next words out of her mouth were ones I wished I didn't have to hear.
天使様の教えを破ってはいけないわ。その思いに正直になればなるほど、君は不幸に陥ってしまう。それを分かっているから辛いんでしょう。イルサ、君には幸せになってほしいの。その思いに準ずる未来に待っているのは破滅だけ。だから言葉にしてはいけないの。
I couldn't comprehend why she was saying this. As long as she reciprocated my feelings, what more could I want for?
他の人を愛せとリュシー様はおっしゃるのですか？私に男の人を愛せと。
Ah, the voice acting is so good too. I asked her in tears.
主の教えに背いているから不幸になるのですか？この思いを抱くことが罪なら本当の幸福はどこにあるのでしょう？イルサ。
She embraced me gently. My heart cried out. It screamed at the absurdity of this world, that the Lord's teachings sought to oppress the pure love that I had harbored.
どうしてあなた様以外を愛さなくてはならないのでしょうか？
She did not reply.
今度町でお祭りがあるのです。私のお母さんが好きな人と一緒に行って素敵な宝石を送ってくれたのです。だからあなた様と一緒に。
I knew it was futile to ask her.
お母さんにあなた様のことを紹介させてください。きっと理解してくれるはずです。なんだって家族ですから。
Even as I made one unreasonable request after another, Lucy only smiled and embraced me back. She understood that I could no longer contain myself.
私はあなた様を心から愛しています。
Oh no! I said out loud what she said I must not voice, a confession of my love that could never last.
そしてその愛情は他の誰にも否定されるべきではありません。
Saddened as she was, she could only wipe away my tears.
何を捧げたらこの思いが叶うのでしょうか？
There was no answer. There was nothing I could do.
もしこの思いが叶うのなら悪魔にさえも魂を捧げましょう。
I faced my dearest Lucy.
私と一緒に
Run!
この道から逃げてはくれませんか？
Run! Run! If our love was doomed to damnation, then let us fall to hell together.
イルサ、
Her voice was trembling.
私は君に幸せになってほしいだけなの。
If it was God that decreed that our tale end in sorrow, then I would curse his very name. Oh, boy. I would later only learn that somebody had eavesdropped on our conversation. I was entirely love-struck, and in my fervor, I carelessly spoke one blasphemy after another. To have my love denied and prohibited drove me to spill out all of my grievances. I was simply childish and arrogant. I paid no attention to my surroundings and cried like a love-starved child. Lucy was careful in what she chose to say out loud. That was because she was worried for my future. She loved me deeply, just as I loved her. I was not the only one who suffered for loving someone of the same sex. Lucy endured the same pain as well. We should have been able to share our burdens together, but I was too immature to see that. That was my sin. It happened all at once. Guards barged into my house. My mother broke down on the spot. She pleaded with the guards not to take me away. They didn't listen. I tried to resist, but they pulled me outside. Oh my god, does she think? Oh no. She doesn't even think that they're doing it because they think she's a witch. Oh no, never mind. No. Poor girl. I was dragged through town. My footsteps were heavy. I was confused. To make matters worse, those who gathered to watch pointed at me and whispered accusations to affirm the doubts and fears they already had. Not one person tried to help me. They so easily accepted that I was a witch. I was thrown into a dark cell, where I was made to endure their interrogation for days on end. Every time they asked, I insisted upon my innocence. They never listened. My situation seemed to worsen by the day.
イルサが魔女であることを私は否定しません。かくいう私も彼女の悪しき呪いに苦しめられたことがございます。
The Reverend strongly denounced me.
彼女はいつも下品な色仕掛けをしてくるのです。はじめこそ教会に足しげく通う敬虔な信徒だと思っていましたが、とんでもない。彼女は祈りを捧げるふりをして私を何度も挑発し翻弄しようとしていたのです。
Can they kill this guy? They have to He accused me of things I had no recollection of doing. If anything, they were all acts he was guilty of.
それなら俺だって。
Once one person spoke up, the rest were eager to say their piece.
イルサは昔から変なやつだったんだよ。思えばあの時だってイルサの呪いで頭がおかしくなってたんだ。イルサは男の心を操ることができるのかもしれない。
It was William who testified next.
じゃなきゃおかしいだろう。俺がイルサのことを気にするなんて、みんなから嫌われて孤立しているやつなんかありえない。
No!
そうだ。そのせいでイルサの仲間みたいに扱われて、みんなから。
No! William too! William too! Oh god, oh no, not even... Oh! Each person sought to accuse me of what suited them best. They made up lies that I was powerless to disprove. They were merciless.
イルサが魔女の住む森に入っていくのを見た。
上の空で誰かに声をかけていた。あれは悪魔が相手だったんだ。
イルサが睨みつけた動物が変身を遂げました。あの子が呪いをかけたのよ。
Were people unable to see Lucy? That would be another really crazy twist if... Anyway.
あの泥棒だってイルサの手引きによるものかもしれん。
Really, old man? You think that she would steal?
やっぱりイルサは魔女だったんだ。
Barraged by a wave of unwarranted accusations that my pleas would not faze, I was being driven mad. They all decided that I must be a witch, or rather, it would be more convenient if I was.
どうして私が
I lay on the hard stone floor as my eyes wandered, desperate for the person I yearned for. My body was too worn down to even allow me to sit. Oh.
さあ、拷問の時間だ。
But my personal hell had only begun. They feared I was a witch because I could not prove my innocence.
魔女は水に浮かぶらしい。
They would quell those fears by any means necessary. There existed a method to ascertain if one were a witch. Since it was believed that a witch's body floated in water, they would bind the accused and drop them into a river, a test known as swimming. Should the accursed sink and die, they would be proven innocent.
魔女は水を恐れるらしい。
So you die.
お前の拷問
So you
道具は
you
水
either
であ
die.
るべきだな。
So either way you die. These guys are so dumb. The torture filled a large bucket and placed it before me. He then grabbed me by the hair and shoved my head in. Oh no, I don't want to see this. Words could not describe the pain of being suffocated as I struggled helplessly under the man's grip. He pulled my head back up just as I ran out of breath and pushed me down again. She's being waterboarded. He was careful not to let me die as he submerged me over and over. My consciousness grew dim as my movements dulled. My body had given up on trying to survive.
答えろ！お前は魔女だな！
Even then, I refused to confess.
お前は悪魔に愛を誓っていた。そうなんだろう？
No matter how great my suffering, I dared not taint my love with lies. Oh God!
しぶとい女だ。
Within the water, the world lost all sound. Fear and suffering both gradually faded as I felt myself approaching the other side. I did not give in. My love for Lucy granted me strength. There would be no point in living any longer if I had to lie to myself. I could not do it. I chose to believe that martyrdom in love's name was a noble cause. I defied the teachings of the Lord. There would be no happiness for me. My only means of resistance then was to face the hatred in the hearts of others, head on and die with my love pure and intact. That would be proof that I once lived. Bro, the writing is good!
愚かな女として生まれたことをあの世で後悔するがいい。
The torturer's gaze seemed disappointed in me.
水試練を実施する。沈まずに浮かび上がれば、貴様が魔女であることの証明となる。
She'll die either way. What's the point? Death approached. I would be granted release from all the hurt inflicted upon this body. And yet... God. In the face of certain death, I shuddered endlessly. The writer is insanely good. He's well known in the VN community. That's insane. Battered and bruised, my body still yearned to live.
Elsa, 貴様は必ず浮くぞ。これは神の意志なのだ。
A demon whispered into my ear. In my weakest moment, it planted a seed of doubt inside me.
人間が沈むのは当然のことだ。貴様も自らの真実と共に死ぬつもりだったろ。
He saw my will waver and knew what to say to me.
教会の人間が誤った判断を下すことなどありえない。魔女裁判においては絶対に間違えてはならんのだ。
だったら私は。
お前は浮かぶ。それはもう決まっていることなのだ。
The church held influence over the court's judgment. I finally understood what the torture meant.
まさか。
They would simply make my body float. They could attach cork or some sort of buoy to me. It didn't matter what they used. They'd get me to float with whatever worked. The swim test was a farce.
そんなことがあっていいはずが。
I felt dizzy. All this time I had believed that these men acted out of genuine belief. But behold, if the result of these trials were manipulated, then it wasn't the Lord's will that determined guilt. Faith didn't matter in the slightest to these people.
なんて恐ろしい。
What I uncovered was the endless depths of evil that man was capable of. Under the guise of an inquisition, these monsters would hurt others for their own gain. Would I be willing to let their ploy take my life from me?
嫌だ。
My body screamed with the urge to live. I bit my lip as tears flowed from my eyes.
死にたくない。
Not for this farce.
私は生きたい。
I didn't care what these trials meant to these men. I just wanted to survive. As long as I was alive, I could reunite with my dearest Lucy.
私は嘘をついていました。
My love had endured through many trials and days of torture. But in that moment, I chose not to stand by it.
告白します。私は魔女でした。私の心が弱かったばかりに悪魔にそそのかされ、主の教えに反する行為に手を染めてしまいました。
I falsely confessed my guilt in order to survive. I claimed that the love I felt was the work of demons. I spoke the cruelest lie one could ever utter.
私は悪魔に見られていたのです。そうでなければ誰が女性を愛するというのでしょうか。
では他の疑いも認めるんだな。魔女として町の男を誘惑したこと、ブラックウッド神父やウィリアム少年の供述を。はい、
私は情欲に溺れる不死だらな魔女でした。面白おかしく呪いをかけてしまったのです。悪魔が私にささやきかけるのです。女は男を惑わせるものだと。
What? She's literally gone mad. I had to say things that weren't true in the slightest. My heart knew that it was false, yet still I spoke. I abandoned my beliefs, threw away my pride, and trampled on the last bits of my dignity, all to survive and reunite with my Lucy.
なんてことだ。しかしよくぞ悪魔のささやきに抗い告白した。主は貴様のことを見ておられるはず。悔い改める者には必ず救いを差し伸べてくださるだろう。
This would not be enough to free me, but at least I would keep my life. Only those who insisted on their innocence to the very end or were otherwise irredeemable were executed.
これで正しいんだ。
I whispered to myself over and over, but my heart could not accept what I had done. I betrayed my love and blamed it on the demons. I could not forgive myself for that.
正しいもん。
I cried as I tried to come to terms with what I had done. However, What I heard next far surpassed what I could have imagined.
そうだろうと思っていた。貴様はあの魔女に騙されていただけだ。現に恐ろしき異国の魔女よ。この短期間で町娘をこうまで籠絡するとはな。
They caught her too!
何のお話ですか？
貴様を惑わし、すべての始まりとなったあの魔女の話だ。
So she does exist!
え？
My thoughts stopped. My heart froze up.
リュシー・ヘルナンデスは邪悪な魔女だった。自らそれを認めたが、反省する様子もなく、狂気じみた言葉を繰り返していたよ。今頃は火あぶりだな。
They both lied to try to protect the other one.
嘘だ。
I could only hope that this was all a bad dream. Guys, I miss the days when we just laughed at John and Johnson. Records indicated that Elsa was detained for engaging with female sodomy and interrogated over her involvement with witchcraft. It was believed that the Fernandez's eldest daughter was her victim until a witness testified otherwise.
そんなはずはありません。私の娘が主の教えに背くだなんて。イルサは被害者なのです。森に住むあの女の方こそがイルサを誘惑した魔女なのです。
Ilsa's mother Emma stood for her daughter's innocence and indicted someone else in turn.
思い出してください。あの森は魔女と住まう場所だと言われてたではありませんか。あの者は薬草の扱いに長け、人目を避けて生活していました。呪いを扱う者としてこれ以上の証拠はございません。
The witch trials fueled doubt and suspicion that grew and festered as they claimed more victims. It was this cycle of hatred that was the true cause of this tragedy. Thus, Lucy Fernandez was charged with witchcraft.
あなたたちには私が魔女に見えるのですか？
The girl seemed unnaturally calm as she was brought in for questioning. She was being interrogated, yet she spoke as if she were in charge.
イルサは無事ですか？
貴様には関係のないことだ。
In truth, Lucy was as afraid as anyone would be, but the Reverend failed to see through her facade.
何をそんなに恐れているのでしょうか？まさか私のことを本物の魔女だとお思いですか？
She saw through him.
当たり前だ。我々は魔女を裁くためにここにいる。
今、君が恐れを抱いていることが後ろめたさの証明です。私は君たちが言うところの魔女です。あの子を惑わし、恋という呪いにかけ、人生を狂わせてしまいました。
The girl took charge of her own interrogation.
あの子は今も私の呪いにとらわれ、苦しんでいるでしょう。君たちとは違って、あの子は純粋で人と違うことを恐れず、不器用ながら必死に生きています。それがどれだけ辛いことか、君たちは知ろうともしません。
There was an inexplicable and terrifying charisma in her voice that commanded the attention of those present and threatened to encroach into their hearts.
私はイルサを心から愛しています。それも情欲をかきたてるほどに欲深い愛情ですよ。純粋で素朴なあの子を押し倒し、その柔肌に爪を立て、私のものだという証を刻みたい。あの子のすべてを独占して私だけのものにしたい。その気持ちは私のかけがえのない宝物です。
The girl must have seemed more terrifying than even a witch to those present. The act of speaking of one's love so brazenly left all who witnessed her speechless.
だけど私を愛した人はみんな死んでしまうのですよ。自ら首を吊っていなくなってしまいます。これこそが本物の呪いというものなのでしょうね。まったく皮肉な因果ですよ。
やめろ、その口を閉じろ。貴様の言葉を聞いていたら食いそうだ。
だって私は魔女ですから、人を呪わずにはいられないのです。
The girl provoked the reverend and he fell for it.
ふざけるな、魔女なんているわけが。
he fell for the old one too. you fell for the 1-2 Scooby-Doo, you idiot. He panicked and stopped himself, but it was too late.
ああ、
The girl snickered like a demon.
そういうことにしてあげていたのにね。
It was a statement a member of the clergy should never utter. The girl's eyes were cold as ice as she spoke gleefully.
存在しないはずの魔女を処刑するなんて、さすがは教会の人間ですね。なんと傲慢なことでしょうか。
黙れ。貴様のその振る舞いも少しは考えろ。命が惜しくないのか。魔女と認めるのなら悔い改めろ。このままだと魔女として処刑するしかなくなるぞ。
お黙りなさい。
Just one utterance from her was enough to freeze his soul.
ざれ言に付き合って魔女扱いまでは許しましょう。しかし偽りの告白をするつもりは一切ありません。私はイルサを心から愛しています。その言葉を曲げるつもりはありません。
Damn, man. You know, this is the kind of irony that my English teacher would always be like, yo, the way Shakespeare uses irony and makes it hit hard. Dang, this is that. Damn. Whoa. Ooh, yeah, sheesh. Ooh. Yikes. Uh-oh. Ooh, Elsa. Ooh.
それが主の教えに反する行為だと知っていてもか。
Ooh, Elsa. Ooh. Maybe she didn't think that Elsa would. Oh.
あなたたちに神の教えを語る資格がどこにあると。これでも譲歩しているのですよ。魔女として処刑されましょうと言っているのです。それで何か文句ありますか？
貴様は狂っている。一体何が目的なんだ。
あの子はきっと自ら魔女であることを認め悔い改めるでしょう。あれでも賢い子です。これが茶番であることを理解するはず。
But, oh, was she banking on Elsa to confess? Did she know her that well?
無駄だ。イルサは貴様への愛を貫き通そうとしている。二人とも家系になるだろ
う。私を愛しているのならやはり偽りを口にするでしょう。あの子は本質をよく分かっています。死んでしまっては人を愛することもできないと。
Oh dang! Oh dang! Oh dang, she's smart! Not like the characters in Shakespeare who are all dumb! Dang! Should she truly love me, she shall denounce our love.
ならば貴様も罪を認め悔い改めるべきだ。
これでも私は感情的な人間なのです。愛に飢えた愚か者。
The girl looked sad.
イルサを巻き込んでしまいましたから。
Doomed!
私に愛されて
あ
不幸に付き合わせてしまった。あの子が瑠璃色の宝石を手にするのを見たとき、こうなるだろうと分かっていたのに。呪いはね、本当にあるんですよ。しかしそれはあなたたちの異端審問のような都合のいい魔女の呪いとは違います。 魔性のきらめき、
Accursed
血に飢えた
gemstones.
呪いの宝石が。
Those last words the girl spoke may have been her genuine attempt to curse her captors.
イルサ、最後にもう一度君の純粋さを抱きしめたかった。先に行くことに後ろめたさはありますが、それでも君なら大丈夫です。辛いでしょうが生きてください。生きてさえいればまた幸せは訪れるのですから。
Thus, Lucy Fernandez was burned at the stake as a witch. She stood by her love to the very end. Oh! The world was all twisted as I searched for her. I could only hope that what I had heard was some kind of mistake. My voice was a hoarse whisper as my heart was torn apart. I had to do my best to not laugh at the word horse. A girl was crucified to the stake as the mob surrounded her. Horse. Sorry. Sorry. She had long been burned. Only clumps of ash remained. I knew why. To the bitter end, Lucy never faltered in her love for me. Where she persevered, I had lied to save my own flesh. A man in the crowd loudly declared, and others cheered him on. In a scene right out of hell, they danced and celebrated before the charred corpse of an innocent girl. Rage whirled inside of me, stirred by despair I could not contain. Indescribable pain and sorrow fueled the torrent and washed away any semblance of sanity I still held. Who? My voice grew louder. A ripple ran through the crowd. Did they see in my fervor and think to accuse me again? I wished for everyone to suffer until their blood ran dry. Only then would they have felt the pain she went through. They were the ones who came for me and branded me as one. I would give them what they wanted. On this day, I became the Witch of Twilight Ridge. The men wielded their weapons as they rushed to slay me. It was right then. A bolt of lightning struck, freezing all those present in their tracks. As everyone cowered in fear, a lone boy lifted me in his arms. What's he doing here? My tale should have ended here, but it would continue for just a little longer. I raised my voice in protest at my rescuer. If he thought I wanted to be saved, he was wrong. The boy's eyes teared up as he looked away. I cursed the boy. I knew he didn't deserve it, but I couldn't stop myself. In a world without her, how could I ever find meaning? I saved her by a hair's breadth. Oh, it's Remy. Once we got far enough from the villagers, I finally let down my guard. But her next words caught me by surprise.
どうして私を助けたの？
Her eyes had witnessed the depths of madness and had taken root in her. Her heart had already shattered into pieces.
死なせてほしかった。
All that was left inside her was an endless well of despair, constantly overflowing. The anguish on her face dared me to answer her.
誰が助けてほしいって。余計なことをしないでよ。私はあのまま死なせてほしかったのに。
I was conceited to think I could have made a difference. My actions did nothing but push her further into her and down into her own hell.
苦しいの。とても生きられない。
The girl was breaking down right before my eyes. The cry of someone losing their soulmate. Say you did an insanely good job, right? Yeah. I watched as the nightmare unfolded.
違うんだ。俺はあなたを苦しめたくてそうしたわけじゃ。
It was a cruel reminder to me. I could not save this girl. The only person who could was no longer in this world.
今すぐ私を殺して、この苦しみを終わらせてほしい。
The girl clung to me, desperation written all over her face. I could not grant her even that. What good was I? The poor girl learned of true despair only because I went out of my way to save her.
俺はどうしたら。
Her wail would continue to haunt me from then on. Try as I might to live for someone else, my own powerlessness would not let me. Why did he? Why was he there? What did he even do? What was he there for? Why was he there?
彼女を苦しめたかったわけじゃないんだ。俺はそれがイルサの救いになればいいと信じて。レミ君。
It was the first time Remy had shown his vulnerable side to me.
知らなかったんだ。人の心に触れることがこんなにも難しいなんて。力になれると思った。助けられると思っていた。
Oh, he wanted to be her savior.
それは思い上がりだった。時間が経てば何かが変わるかもしれない。
He was just being a good boy.
彼女のそばで身の回りの世話をし続けた。
Man, yo, if only he left like 5 minutes faster. This is why, Uma Musume, you train speed. Speed is the most important stat. Bro! Bro!
もし俺じゃなくて他の誰かがそこにいたら何かが変わっていたのかもしれない。
He should have rode a horse.
だけど現実には俺しかいなくて。
You know, this is a good lesson. Never go anywhere without a horse. You need your horse. If horses existed, everything would have been fine. Man.
彼女の痛みと憎しみを真正面に受け止めるしかなかったんだ。レミ君。回復の兆しを見せたこともあった。ゆっくりでも少しは前進しているような気がしていた。
What is this? Always go everywhere with 2 horses so one can rest. See, that's a, you know, even better. That's probably going to solve some other future problem down the road. That's great. You're bug fixing before the bug even exists. Yeah, exactly. Have one horse ride the other horse while you're riding that horse. Always go with your 2 horses. Man! Remy, where's your horse?
俺の料理に初めて手をつけたイルサは少しだけ微笑んでいたんだ。あの時ようやく報われたと思っていたのに。
Did Rubia not know of her? She should know then. She should have known then.
レミ君、 心は誰の目にも映らない。悪魔と呼ばれた人形にも。それは難しかった。ねえ、ラズリエル。俺はどんな恐ろしい力を得るよりも
Aw.
誰かの心に寄り添えるようになりたかった。
But why her?
大丈夫だよ、レミ君。だって君は
I embrace his trembling body.
こんなにもエルサの心に寄り添おうとしているもの。それだけでもエルサにとっては救いだったはずだよ。じゃあどうしてエルサは
He looked at me with bloodshot eyes.
首をつって自殺したんだ。それは
I could not say anything. The Elsa that resided within me did not react to his words.
結局エルサは俺の救いを拒絶して自らその生命を終わらせてしまった。
His voice was on the verge of fading.
イルサの死体を使ってあなたを作ったのは他ならぬ
What?
イルサの意志だ。彼女は俺が人形を作ろうとしていたことを知っていたから。
What?
レミ君。
Remy did as she wanted, and that choice left him with a wound in his heart that had yet to heal.
イルサは死んで生まれ変わりたかったのかな。だったら私は。それは違う。
He declared.
人は生き返らない。そこにイルサの魂は宿っていない。あなたの名前はラズリエルだ。
Oh, yeah, exactly.
イルサの記
You are
憶や
you.
人格に影響されているのはその名残に過ぎない。そもそもイルサは生まれ変わりを望んでいなかった。レミ君。
He enjoyed the pain he felt as he turned to face me.
俺は一度失敗した。イルサを幸せにできずに失意のまま死なせてしまった。だがもう二度と同じ鉄は踏まない。
Amidst the fear in his eyes, there was kindness.
今度こそ誰かを幸せにしたいんだ。一人の女の子として生を全うしてほしい。俺があなたに願うのはそれだけだ。そっか。
His wish melted in my heart and washed away all the doubts I harbored.
ありがとう、レミ君。
He shook his head.
違うんだ、ラズリエル。
With the sadness in his eyes, he softly whispered.
救われたのは俺の方なんだ。
Oh, no kiss. His hands were trembling as they reached to hold me.
生まれてきてくれてありがとう。
Aw. He failed to save someone once before, but through me he could overcome his trauma.
焼けちゃうな。
But what mattered was that he saw me for who I was. He looked me in the eye and called me Lazariel.
私は幸せ者だな。
I could only hope that I might one day become someone important to him. For the time being, I decided to embrace that thought. Aww, aww, aww. A youth's perspective. Who the hell? What? Oh dang! Oh, what a troubled youth. Oh god. Oh no, not the youth. Hi guys, this is my TikTok. I'm 2 years old. Oh god. Oh no, he must still be in the womb. Can you make a TikTok while you're still in the womb? Dang. One must wonder when the town's atmosphere became so twisted and paranoid. The overwhelming mood is unsettling and somewhat sorrowful. Some rumors started it all. He's a Tumblr kid. He's a Tumblr youth. Some rumors started it all. Rumors that a witch trial at a nearby village ended with bloodshed, causing the witches to evacuate to our town. It was never anything more than a tall tale exchanged over drinks. At some point, however, fear of the witches took hold and things changed. The townsfolk began to wonder. Even those who laughed the tale off grew fearful and came to doubt their neighbors. Soon, everyone I knew believed in the witches. So you can just imagine like a little like fetus guy with a little top hat. He's a youth. The day the first trial was held and the poor suspect was executed was when we passed the point of no return. Some objected, but the fear of persecution dulled their voices. Soon, no one dared speak up, and the act that invited suspicion was a death sentence. The town's warmth disappeared, overshadowed by a cloud of suspicion. Once the first victim's life was claimed, an uncomfortable silence fell. Then the people clamored. Who was next? Who should they judge? Did witches truly exist? Surely everyone had their doubts, but there was no turning back now. Once lives were lost, no one dared to admit that there was no witch. Without a witch to blame, the hearts of the townfolk would not endure. A new day claimed the life of yet another victim. There was an underlying reason for why the poor old lady at the bakery was accused. Her daughter's husband committed adultery, and to hide his wrongdoing, he indicted them both. In other words, he used the witch's trials to his own benefit. We all knew. We simply didn't speak up. Bro, youth, don't worry. It's not your problem, youth. Youth. Don't blame yourself, youth. It's okay. It's not your fault, youth. Man. What a horrible son-in-law. This town had gone mad. People cheer every time a new corpse decorates the stakes and pyres. The macabre festival had one purpose: to protect the guilty and provide them peace of mind. It mustn't be stopped. This madness must be left to fester. This is the new status quo. One can only embrace it, should they wish to survive. Bro, youth is all the youth is all traumatized, man. Yeah, Ruby, this is wrong. The girl stood at the center of the square. She did the unthinkable. No, Ruby, no, shush, no, no, shut up, Ruby, shut up, you shut up, you shut up, no, you. Everyone turned to glare. You. What was this girl trying to say? No! Oh God! No way! No, shut! The girl's hand shook with fear. Still, she mustered the courage to face the mob. No, this. Girl, this ain't the High School Musical 2. No, get out of here. This ain't High School Musical 2. No, get. The girl wasn't eloquent in the slightest, and yet her words were like a ray of hope that quelled everyone's paranoia. The rest of the townsfolk fell silent. Her words had struck a chord. Her eyes teared up as she finally shouted out how she felt. The girl understood so little. She might not even have realized that the hag was already dead. Her feelings were so wonderfully pure and innocent. In that moment, it was as if everyone remembered the warm days they had long lost sight of, back when the townsfolk cherished their neighbors and prayed to the Lord. Precious days whose value was realized too late. which was why I had to speak.
魔女の仲間め、またこの町を絶望に染めようというのか。
I couldn't let her. The madness could not be allowed to abate.
こいつも魔女だ。誰かすぐに捕らえろ。
The rage had to be rekindled, and thus everything the girl said fell on deaf ears.
どうして？
The girl looked at me. There was hurt in her eyes.
邪悪な魔女め。
I would kill her and live to see another day. In this world, the foolishly honest are but lambs to the slaughter. Oh, the fearful man was the husband-in-law who was the son-in-law who committed adultery. Oh, that's why he knew. The flood of malice from the townspeople overwhelmed the girl. She was powerless. There was nothing she could do. She knew nothing of how cruel the world could be.
本当におバカさんですね。
Even worse, the girl was one of the demon effigy's allies. I have no obligation to save her. I merely watched as she was swarmed.
近寄らないで。
The girl tried to escape. She ran as desperately as she could. Even as she tripped and fell and sustained wound after wound, she endured and kept on running.
何をしている。ガキ一人を捕らえられんとは。急げ。
It was a mere stroke of luck that the girl evaded capture. She was small and she could pass through gaps and alleys that grown men could not. She was deft and unpredictable, much like a cat.
時間の問題ですけど。
Nowhere in town was safe for her. She could not evade her pursuers for much longer.
どうして？
As the girl hid in the shadows, she whispered to herself.
私は何も間違っていないのに。
Blind eye was turned to justice. The vile could not be swayed by righteous words.
見失うんじゃねえぞ。必ず捕まえろ。
The girl had heard her pursuers closing in. Her energy was spent. She could run no longer. Screwing her eyes shut, she suppressed her cries. She could only pray that her pursuers could not see her in turn.
ここか。
A man with bloodshot eyes arrived through the scene and looked to where the girl happened to be hiding. Any moment now when he would spot her.
こんなところにいるわけねえか。
The man sighed and laughed.
どうして？
The girl was confused. Their eyes had met, yet the man looked away without noticing her. Bruh! Twist of fate! Oh! You're forgiven! What I did was wholly unnecessary. It did not serve a purpose. Oh, she's redeemed. Okay, she's redeemed. Alright, she's redeemed. Ketchup and mustard. Yo. You know what? There's a reason why they belong on my... in my favorite condiments of all time list. Let's go. There's a reason why they're always together, you know? Mustard has to look out for ketchup. That's the way it's gotta be. Can we undoom the Yuri with mustard and ketchup? New ship just dropped. I embraced the girl from behind as I regretted my own actions.
私が見えていないの？天使の気まぐれです。勘違いしないように。
I erected a barrier that rendered those within imperceivable to the eye. It was a weak barrier that wouldn't work on demons or effigies, only humans.
天使さんが助けてくれたの？
The witch trials were an unavoidable tragedy in service to our noble cause. If needed, we would even employ madmen and watch as they caused havoc. But there was no need to let this girl die. At least, that was what I told myself.
バカなことをした。
There's no point dwelling over it.
ありがとう、天使さん。アンシュ。
The girl teared up as she smiled at me.
私はアンシュ。そう呼んでください。
Some part of me was relieved, a part of myself that I preferred not to think about. Oh god, wait, this is now this is kind of ironic too, because now remember the beginning where like the original story was about a girl who fell in love with an angel who saved her? Oh, we got it. History repeats itself.
あのクソガキ、どこ行きやがった。ちくしょう、やっぱり魔女だったんだ。見つけ次第捕まえろ。火あぶりにしてやる。
We heard her pursuers in the distance. They were persistent and merciless.
早急にここを離れるべきです。見つかると厄介なことになりそうです。アンシュ。
The girl gripped my sleeve.
助けてくれてありがとう。
I had no reason to save her, but I had no reason to let her die. That was the only reason I acted. From behind us, we could still hear the frenzied cries, screams of the mob drunk on their witch hunts. The town was swallowed by fear and superstition that drove its people to violence. Even as we escaped, the fires of madness continued to burn.
なぜあんなことをしたのですか?
The two of us took refuge in a nearby grove. I had no obligation to the girl any longer, but I was unable to leave until she let go of my hand.
狂気に落ちた愚か者に異を唱えたでしょう。自殺志願者ですか? だって
The girl stumbled over her words. She tried to explain herself.
話せば分かってくれると思ったから。
Her intentions were far too naive.
ねえ、アンシュ。どうしておばあさんはいじめられていたの？みんなで寄ってたかって一方的な真実を押し付けていたわ。ナズタンはおばあさんは無実だって言ってたのに。
The girl's pure-hearted doubts struck right at the core of what was wrong with the world.
もしかしたらみんなの言う通りおばあさんは悪い人だったのかもしれない。だとしてもあんなことが許されるはずないよ。きっと話せば分かり合えるはずなのに、知らない人同士だからあんなことができるのよ。
She would have died thinking the best. She would have died peak. Man, Ruby based. Ruby aced. Oh man. Her eyes were swollen from all the tears I had yet to dry.
彼らは怯えています。だけど、その怯えがどこからやってきているのか、それすら理解していません。
I calmly gave her my answer.
だから彼らは悪者を探すのです。目につくものすべてが悪いものに見え、そうであると信じてしまう。おばあさんが魔女なわけないのに。悪魔や天使を恐れの対象としたってどうにもなりません。だから自分よりも立場が弱い相手を標的にする。その方が思い通りにできますから。そんなのひどすぎる。ひどい話です。けれどこれが人間の習性ですよ。彼らは地獄を見なければ学ぶことができません。こんなことはどの時代にも発生していて、それが今魔女狩りという呼び名にされているだけ。
You can tell they need each other. Ruby needs protection and the angel needs warmth. Aw, dang, that's nice. That's poetic. Thanks, Oranza.
私はそんな風にはならないもん。ええ、そうですね。誰もがあなたのように清らかであるのならよかったのに。
Those words may have been for myself.
時と場合を考えましょう。 正しい言葉は反感を生みます。そのことは今日学びましたね。いい子です。これからもその信念を大切にするように。
My goal was to eliminate the demon effigy, not out of spite, but because I believed the world could not maintain peace while the effigy drew breath.
中身なんて知りたくないです。ためらいを覚えてしまったら剣が鈍りますから。
I was determined to pass judgment. Was I any different from the crazed townspeople and their witch trials?
違います。
My fists tightened as I reaffirmed my own justice. As an angel, I could not let the demon effigy walk free, not as long as he threatened the balance of the world.
アンシュはいい人だね。そんなことはないです。ただの気まぐれ。私は子供には優しいのです。アンシュだって子供にしか見えないのに。
How insolent of her.
たまにはこういうこともあってもよいでしょう。
The girl's smile was enough to trivialize my worries. I no longer regretted my actions. Let her be redeemed. Darkness fell. As the sun vanished beyond the horizon, the sky turned a deep shade of indigo and the stars twinkled. The night descended and silence enveloped all. The girl was soon lulled to sleep by the quiet. Her expression was peaceful, almost angelic.
ご無沙汰しております、天使様。
What? John is real 2025? What the hell? You just jump scared me with real John. What the hell is this? John is real. What the hell? You hit me with John being John? We got John face reveal 2025. We got He called. He was calling. He's finally here. John arrived. The silence of the night was disturbed by the appearance of a single man.
おや、この子は？
悪魔の人形の保護下にある少女です。成り行きで助けることになりました。
なるほど。人質にするおつもりですか？
No, that's not what he said. She said.
さすがは天使様にございます。
いえ、そういうわけでは。
悪魔の手先なら殺しておくべきでは？
Now get out of here, John.
その必要はありません。
I glared at the
お
man.
前の記した歴史書はこの世界に浸透し事実となりました。目的は果たされたと言えるでしょう。
Did he start?
お前が契約を果たす番ですよ。
Is he the witch trial starter guy?
もちろんです。私のような賠償なものの願いを叶えていただいたこと、心の底から感謝しております。
The man gave an unrepentant smile.
悪魔の人形を殺してみせましょう。すべては四天使の意志のもとに。
To bring about justice, I had joined hands with evil. I was simply making use of this man. By no means was I indulging his evil.
つくづく愚かですね。
Mankind was foolish, but so was I. So was everything else. If only I were as pure of heart as this girl, I would be better served.
ああ、そうでした。最後にもう一度だけ確認させていただきたいのですが。
The man spoke in a light-hearted manner.
娘を蘇らせる方法はこの世に存在しないのですね。
Now get out of here, John.
当然のことです。ジョン、お前もなかなかに諦めが悪いですね。
He was a madman drunk on love who tried to rewrite history. His goal was for his account to be spread for ages to come.
死せる者は生き返ることはありません。
What the heck is...
それがこの世の普遍の断りです。
Oh, What is your what is John's endgame?
残念です。
John. That's his catchphrase, you know? that's his catchphrase. We have John the villain saying, John Nen. He's a Yuri. Yeah. He rewrote doomed Yuri into his daughter. Into his daughter loving that which cannot be seen. John Nen. An eye for an eye and an evil for an evil. The avaricious villain would become the sword that strikes down the effigy. What? I told Lazriel everything on the way home. John Bertrand's memoir differed from what I knew of the truth in several ways. Most importantly, Elsa was not executed.
いくつかの公的な記録に残されたスミス家の悪童と呼ばれる存在。書によれば、彼がイルサを魔女だと告発したとされている。
When Johnson Smith? I remember there was a Johnson Smith. It begged the question of who this man was.
そもそもの前提が間違っていたんだ。ジョン・ベルトランという人物は記録上は存在していない。彼の本名はジョン・スミス。スミス家の悪童とはイルサの父親のことを指していた。
John was John. John was John the whole time. Wait, what does that mean? So John indicted his own daughter? And he's the main character of my he's the main character of my Japanese textbook. John Smith. John Smith, not John Smith. Man. Someone survived the tragedy that took place in that village. I was able to obtain their testimony on condition of complete anonymity. It was a truth I was able to uncover while I left Lazriel at home. Ever since, I'd be preoccupied day and night with trying to locate John Smith's work. I bet that's really hard. Did you try the phone book?
彼は20年前、ある女性と共に魔女裁判にかけられていた。当時は黒魔術や悪魔を信じる邪教徒だったらしい。スミス家の悪童というのは過去に使われていた呼称だ。
He was a witch? I'm so confused.
それじゃあ、イルサを告発したのはお父さんってこと？
スミスさん、はい、スミスさん。
ああ、善良な父親という仮面の下に詐欺師としての顔を隠していたようだ。
What?
どうして？わからない。だがその動機がどうであれ、彼は自己利益のために歴史を塗り替えようとした。最愛の娘を魔女として密告し、その上で悲劇を美化した物語に脚色したんだ。
And oh, that's right, because he knew of one, because he knew like intimate details of the story. Like he was the one who had he had to have been there in order to like write down Elsa's words into his book, which means that he was the one who was spying. Oh. Why did he indict his own daughter? For what? I'm lost.
真実を明らかにしなければならない。それがイルサの死を弔う唯一の方法だ。
Oh yeah. Let it stay a fanfic. Darkness fell as we made our way back. The world was quiet with only our footsteps and the rustling of leaves to accompany us. Once I spotted our home, a warm feeling filled me. Before I knew it, this house had become my home. I was reaching for the doorknob when... Oh god, no! I felt a chill. Something was wrong.
誰かがいる。
There was an unpleasant presence on the other side of the door.
後ろに隠れていてくれ。
Someone was waiting for us. Knowing full well a trap may have been laid, I pushed through. It's John Smith. oh, by the way, that guy that I was talking about, he is here. That's him, by the way. The house was deathly silent.
おかえりなさい。
Oh, thanks. The visitor greeted us with no regard or shame for his unannounced intrusion. He seemed to be a regular human, but there was something jarring about him.
ルビア
Ruby was asleep next to the intruder. She looked at peace, which only heightened the intensity of this confrontation.
疲れて眠っているようです。どうかベッドまで運んであげてくれませんか。彼女はあのいびつな魔女裁判の中で勇敢にも声を上げて戦ったのです。
Oh yeah, and he...
たちの知らないところでね。
Remember when I said that he had a top hat? The youth had a top hat.
なんだって。
そこの宝石人形にかまけているばかりに見過ごしていたようですね。かわいそうな子です。あなたがどんなにこの子を守ろうとしても大切にできるのは一つだけ。さて、自己紹介をさせていただきましょう。
The man stood up and bowed.
私の名前はジョン・ベルトラム。いえ、ジョン・スミスと名乗った方が伝わるでしょうか。
He spoke in a serpentine manner. Venom dripped from his words.
悪魔の人形を殺しにやってきました。どうかお見知りおきを。
The intruder seized the initiative in the conversation.
ああ、冗談ですよ。今のは笑うところです。
こいつ。
A cold sweat ran down my face. The man was clearly aware that I was unsettled.
ダズリール。ルビアを部屋に。
I didn't dare let him out of my sight as I gestured to Lazriel. Lazriel held Rubia gently and the two disappeared up the stairs.
何もしていませんよ。
わかっている。
人形のくせに人のように振る舞うんですね。おままごとのようです。
He was trying to provoke me. From what I could gather, he already knew about the both of us. I had no reason to entertain his jest.
お前をここに導いたのはアンシュだな。
さあ。
He was clearly here to murder me. Was he conceited enough to assume that he could?
お前は何が目的だ。
余裕がありませんね。もう少し会話を楽しみませんか。
黙れ。質問に答えろ。
人形には遊び心が理解できませんか。いやいや。
He let out an exaggerated sigh.
私はね、歴史を改ざんしたいのですよ。あの町での出来事は本当に不快なものでした。
He's doing all this because
あれをそのまま語られてしまうと、
What?
マナ娘の名誉が不当に貶められてしまいます。
He's doing all this because he doesn't want the world to know that his daughter loved another girl?
ゆえに、本来あるべき姿で語り継がせたか。
What?
気高く美しい娘を守る。
Cancel this man!
どんな悪事にも手をつけましょう。
He just hates gay people. Get out of here, John. What the hell? I glanced to the stairs.
あなたが作った人形にはイルサの記憶が残されているでしょう。 あれを公表されると困るんですよ。真実は闇に葬り去りたい。
How would you even know that?
理解できないな。ラズリエルの中にイルサの記憶が残されていたとして何の意味がある。お前の残した偽りの歴史書の方がよほど信憑性がある。
Lazriel and I were both of supernatural origin. No normal person would believe in someone claiming to have memories from a past life, much less from a corpse.
確かにそれは盲点でした。なら私の心配は杞憂でしたね。いやー、よかったです。荒ごとにならなくて安心しました。
Oh, thank goodness. What was his deal? Was John Smith such a flippant man?
どうしてイルサを魔女として密告したの？
Lazriel returned from her room and took the opportunity to speak up.
あなたはイルサのことを愛していなかったの？
愛していたとも。
The man raised his voice, catching me by surprise.
それはもう本当に愛していました。あの子の抱えるいびつさすらそのままめでていたほどです。しかし、何の運命のいたずらでしょう。私はそうせざるを得なかったのです。話を聞いてくだされば、きっとあなたたちも納得してくれるでしょう。
Ahem. The man cleared his throat.
お茶を入れていただけますか。
Oh, great.
長話になりそうなので喉を潤したい。
呆れるほどにふてぶてしい。
I stood up and went to the kitchen. Even then, I didn't let my guard down. The man stared on as I prepared the teapot. Not a single movement I made escaped his gaze. As I stirred, the sound of the teaspoon hitting the cup reverberated around the room, heightening the tension that was already thick in the air.
ありがとうございます。
The man quietly accepted his cup. He took a sip and let out a sigh.
非常に美味しいお茶です。悪魔の人形が入れたものとは思えませんね。
どうも。
He crossed his legs in his seat and smiled. Where's the angel? Seemingly satisfied, he saw fit to begin his tale.
すべての始まりは20年前に遡ります。
He seemed refreshed.
リュシーの母親、アンジェリーク・ベルトラン。彼女が魔女として告発されたことが悲劇の始まりでした。
What? It was 20 years ago that Angelique Bertrand changed my world completely. She possessed a charm that was downright unnatural. There was a strength behind her gaze that conveyed more than words could express. Her irises deeper than the night sky ensnared the hearts of every man in her presence. Numerous suitors strove to conquer her, but they proved no match for her brash words and fierce disposition. At the time, I held a fascination with black magic, demonology, and other such questionable things. My reputation as a black sheep of the Smith family seemed to draw her interest, and she displayed a sort of amused curiosity towards me. Once I thought to ask what drew her to such matters of the occult. She silenced me with a coy smile and seduced me instead. Our affair started in jest, but as our trysts continued, we soon developed feelings for each other. We never sought to define our relationship. We were like lovers, or perhaps we were more. Neither of us could say for sure. For a time, we were content. Indeed, I was smitten with her. What? Oh yeah, Emma is the name of her mom, so who's Angelique? Tragically, the witch hunt that followed threw our lives into disarray. Angelique found herself indicted. Of course she was innocent. Her accusers were the men she rejected and the women who were jealous of her. Sadly, there were so very few who took Angelique's side in the trials. Her standing worsened by the day, and it was only a matter of time until her life was forfeit. That was when we promised that we would elope abroad.
一緒に逃げましょう。
So I suggested, and Angelique agreed with me. We would start our lives afresh in new lands and nurture our love. But my faintest hopes were soon dashed, by Angelique no less.
アンジェリーク！どうしてなんだ！
We made a promise to escape together. As long as I had her by my side, I did not need anything else.
彼女は私を見捨てて一人で去ろうとした。
She saw fit to slap aside my hand even as it reached for hers and throw away the time we spent together as though it meant nothing. The words she spoke back then never left me.
愛していると口にしながら不幸になるのは分かっていると目を細めつつ、それでも一人で行くと固くなに譲らないのです。
She abandoned me. Had to come to terms with her terrible choice all on my own.
彼女の心は悪魔に騙されてしまった。
He's coping. That was when the angel's whispers reached me.
悪魔に取りつかれ魔女になってしまった。
I could not bear to live without condemning her for her actions.
彼女の魂を曇らせたものを私は決して許さない。
What? Okay, wait. I know she left, but did she leave physically? Like did she, like, die? Or did she just, like, run away by herself? I decided that I must live a life free from sin. There was no ending the cycle of misfortune without abandoning my impure thoughts. From that moment on, I lost all fascination I ever held for the occult. I became faithful and accepted the Lord's teachings, all to try to forget Angelique for good. Time passed. Oh. Oh. Okay. Let's see where it goes. Time passed. I found myself wed to Angelique's little sister Emma and had a daughter named Elsa. Elsa did not resemble Angelique in the slightest, except for the occasional glint in her eyes that reminded me of my past lover's zeal.
アンジェリーク。
Oh. I hid my pain from my family as I played the role of patriarch, but inside I longed for Angelique still. As a consequence, the love I held for my daughter was rather twisted.
この子をアンジェリークとの子供だと思って育てましょう。
It was the only way I could find hope for the future. However, never did I foresee that this sliver of hope too would be dashed, and from the unlikeliest of places. One day, by pure happenstance, I came across a girl named Lucy. I had been tailing my daughter into the woods as I did every day, in order to keep her safe. The moment I laid eyes upon the girl, I understood everything. She was Angelique's child. Might as well. Okay. So he's... That's complicated, man. That's... They were half sisters. They're half sisters. Oh, God. There was no mistake. I would not doubt my eyes. The day Angelique left me, she was expecting a child. My world broke down right then. And within the rubble, I found purpose.
リュシー。
A new hope descended upon me.
アンジェリークと私の幸せの結晶が。
I mean, it's not, you know, it doesn't have to be confirmed, right? Technically, it could just be Angelique who had a kid, another kid with some other person. So it's not 100%, it's not 100% down that it's implied, but it's not 100% down.
手放してはならない奇跡のような贈り物なのです。
He also could be delusional.
彼女の前では
Yeah.
エマとの娘など粗末な存在でした。最愛の人の忘れがたみはこの世の全てに勝る価値を秘めているのですから。
Yeah, he could just be really delusional. It could really just be that Angelique was like, yeah, you know what, you didn't protect me when I was getting, you know, witch trialed, and so I left without you. Get out of here. A bright future awaited the two of us. This encounter was enough to imbue me with such hopes. However, it seemed that a different future awaited my dearest Lucy.
あろうことか。イルサとリュシーは同性愛という意味嫌われた愛の形を作り上げようとしていたのです。禁忌を犯すことに恥じることもなく。
Alright, John Lame. John Lame as hell. Again, the angel whispered into my ear that he forbade love between the same sexes. To compound it further, they may have been born from different wombs, but the same blood ran in their veins. Their relationship was incestuous, that was immoral and certainly heretical, a sin worthy of execution as a witch. It was only a matter of time. The girls could not hope to conceal their depravity for long. The rest of the world would find them and tear them apart. Worse yet, the two girls conspired to leave town. That alone I could not let come to pass. Did they intend to humiliate me for my own failed attempt to elope? There was only one way for me to end their relationship and protect the Lord's teachings. Only one option that would save my beloved Lucy. To indict Elsa for witchcraft. He wanted to... What? If I let Elsa shoulder all the guilt, Lucy could yet be saved. I had to correct Lucy of her impure thoughts and avert her from going down the wrong path in life. Or of course Lucy would be saddened by her loss, but she could grow from it. I would be there by her side to support her. So he was What? Ah, despite my efforts, it seemed the Lord was most cruel and unforgiving. I offered Elsa to him, and yet the cycle of violence did not cease. In a twist of fate, Emma, the fool that she was, indicted by Lucy. The rage and malice that stirred within my wife prompted her to bear her fangs at the worst timing. Her arrogance was a match for her sister's, so much that I was rendered speechless. I spared no effort. I tried to hide Lucy's existence, appealed to the judges, and when all else failed, plotted to have her escape. And yet, even that did not work out, for Lucy herself rejected my hand. What?
君が私の実の父である証拠は
That day I snuck into Lucy's cell only to be greeted with reproach.
私の父親は君ではありません。もしこの血が呪われているのなら、ここで終わらせてあげましょう。
The way she rejected me was a spitting image of her mother's strong personality. Like Angelique, Lucy was intent on dying alone. She must have been determined to martyr herself for Elsa as a means to exact revenge upon me. Oh, he's delusional. As a devout follower of the Lord, I could not endure the thought that history would brand my Lucy as nothing more than a witch. My efforts ended in vain. Lucy was found to be a witch and executed. I felt I let the fruit of my love with Angelique tarnish her name forevermore. I could not accept that. As I watched a crowd of madmen gleefully surround the pyres, divine revelation fell upon me. Yeah, you idiot, you literally killed... You killed her. you could have just been like, yeah, get out of this. Oh my god, he started this. Oh god.
皆殺しにすれば真実を知る者はいなくなるのでは。
The angel's whispers guided me to this one answer.
歴史を語るのはいつだって生き残った者だけだ。
Was it truly an angel that blessed me with a thought?
リュシーを殺めたこいつらを生かしていい理由はどこにもない。
You killed her, bro. I did not hesitate to give in to hatred.
この物語はただのかわいそうな物語として残すべきです。いいじゃないですか。どうせ魔女なんていませんし、最初から大切なもの以外を殺してしまえばよかったのです。そうでしょう、アンジェリーク。
And thus I dedicated myself to acting out this tragedy. Twilight Ridge ceased to exist that day.
ご清聴ありがとうございました。
Is Twilight Ridge the town that's just here?
一人の男
No,
の
it
つまら
can't
ない
be.
失恋の物語でございます。いやはや、恋というものはままなりませんね。
Look at them. They're all like, wow, you're even worse and gross than I thought. As he finished, John Smith grinned with inexplicable satisfaction. Every word he spoke dripped with a nauseating madness. Listening to his tale in full may have been a fatal mistake.
嘘。
Lazriel covered her mouth in shock as she shrank back.
イルサとリュシーがイボマイ。そんな。ラザリエル。
I caught her as she collapsed. She couldn't stop shaking in terror of what she had heard.
許せない。自分の娘を何だと思っているの？
Lazriel gasped for air. She glared at the man.
これじゃイルサがあんまりだわ。信じていたお父さんに密告され、愛していたリュシーをも失って。
The anger that drove Lazriel to rebuke the man was her own, not Ilsa's.
あなたの書いた歴史書はイルサの愛を冒涜している。彼女の思いを偽らないで。
Ilsa's vengeance that rested inside Lazriel was yearning. Her budding malice craved her father's blood. And how did John Smith respond?
主の教えに反する行為は認められません。
John Lame.
同性愛など頭がおかしいのでは？
Man, I didn't know his middle name was Lame as Hell. John Lame as Hell Smith. The man coldly trampled on his daughter's dignity. But what was truly terrifying was that the man represented the common sense of his time.
間違っているのはイルサの方ですよ。主の教えを信じ、天使に救われた人生を歩みながら主に反旗を翻したのです。そんなもの自業自得としか言えません。ましてやそれが私の娘の行いなど認められるわけがないのです。
Thus, the man wrote his memoir, just to frame his daughter as pure by his standards.
アンジェリークだって私を裏切って逃げ出した悪魔にささやかれた魔女連中を私は許すわけにはいかない。せめてリュシーだけでも救いたかったですが仕方ありませんね。これもまた主の試練でしょう。
He dared speak of Elsa like she was filthy.
ラズリエル。大丈夫。私は耐えられる。この衝動に身を任せたりはしないから。そうじゃない。
I wasn't afraid that Lazriel would lose control after hearing that nonsense.
我慢できないのは俺の方だ。
I recalled how Elsa despaired and was driven to depart from this world. This man's words spat on her pain.
生まれて初めて人間を殺したくなった。
How was I to disperse all the hatred that I felt? In that moment, I vehemently resented the accord of the angels. But then, before my hatred could take form, something unexpected happened. That's true, if he kills him, then the angel is allowed to kill him. Sidekicks, which one of you guys did that? Sidekicks, which one of you guys did that? Which one of you poisoned his tea? Which one of you was it? Which one of you was it? It was you. It was you, Yan. It was you. Which one of you? Damn, Pharaoh. Which one? What do you got? Joint effort. Ooh. Tisk tisk John. John man. Blood spouted violently from the man's mouth. His body was racked with painful spasms. He collapsed to the ground. All this time, he had been orchestrating his final act. It all happened in an instant. Once I understood his scheme, it was too late. John Smith was unnaturally silent as death came to claim him. There was no time to even try to save him. You know, I don't think that counts, actually. Those were John Smith's last words. His hand reached helplessly for the heavens before falling limp.
Remy-kun!
This was a planned act of suicide, but who could attest to that fact?
やられた
A human had lost their life in my home with the tea I prepared. That meant one thing only.
契約違反ですね。
No. Someone spoke, most likely from all the way up in heaven.
これより悪魔払いを執行します。
A fierce light shone from below. The glow indicated authority only granted to the angel's apostles.
あがない。卓球戦果。
Countless crosses made of light paved the way to the holy domain. John Smith's role ended with the completion of his memoir. Once it was finished, he had no cause to live for. It was the angels who sought to make use of his tragedy. The devout madman that he was, he must have readily agreed. I was naive. The apostles wouldn't hesitate to get rid of me by any means necessary. And now I faced punishment for violating their accord.
かの翼は自由を与え、かの剣は正義を掲げ、かの瞳は真実を映し出す。
The angels she served bravely led the charge in the unending war against the demons. He, mightiest of all seraphs, once commanded an army to confront the rebel Lucifer, bringer of chaos to all order. Behold his name, Archangel Michael. Oh god, we have John. Oh, now we have Michael.
だが神のようか。
Ooh, dang. Yo. If I've learned anything from Persona, Michael is extremely powerful. He's like one of the most powerful personas. Which means he's probably one of the most powerful angels. Under certain conditions, the seraph would bestow power upon the girl before me. and with the accord violated, its full magnitude was granted unto her. Countless crucifixes of light rained down upon me. With a thunderous roar, they ripped and tore through my body as my blood spilled out endlessly.
これが神の怒りだ。
The onslaught of crosses was merciless. As instruments of judgment, they possessed unimaginable destructive power.
この世を乱す悪魔の人形よ。今ここで滅びなさい。
A flood of light crushed any resistance I could offer. My flesh disintegrated in the face of the Seraph's might. Before their lord's wrath, I was powerless. I heard a hymn in the background. All the lights of this world gathered to rejoice at my judgment.
あっけないものですね。
The sheer power the Seraph granted to Anj far surpassed my expectations. I couldn't lift a finger.
最初からこうしていればよかったのです。契約なんて解釈次第でどうとでもなります。
And yet, my body still yearned to live. It would take more than this to halt the demon's effigy. Anj was aware of this, for she had more up her sleeve.
あなたの弱点は人に近づきすぎたことです。心を得てしまったことで、
You holding
その
back?
力を
Bro, you don't hold back. The crucifixes shone brighter still. The purpose of this trial was to break my spirit.
視天使の前です。罪を告白しなさい。
Before the Lord's guidance, all wrongdoing was laid bare. Just, come on, Remy, Super Saiyan 2, come on, Super Saiyan 2, come on, Super Saiyan 2, come on. That finally pushed me to my breaking point. Yeah! Ooh, dang. I was not blessed upon my birth. I was neither man nor demon nor angel. I was a mere effigy. I did not possess man's arrogance, the demon's madness, or the mercy of an angel. I was granted no purpose at all, and yet the demon who created me accepted me for who I was. I was able to come to terms with my existence because he was there for me. His kindness, unbefitting a demon of his caliber, saved me. But he was soon struck down by the— oh god damn, well, that was great while he lasted, I guess. The sins he committed in the past were far too great. That was how I came to experience loneliness for the first time. Robbed of my reason to live, I could only wander aimlessly as I questioned my own existence.
一人は辛い。
A lack of companionship wore down on me and threatened to drag me into hell.
俺を一人にしないでくれ。
Without the demon by my side, I bore the full brunt of solitude all on my own.
本当に大切なものは目には見えない。
He had granted me the warmth of family.
いつだって失ってから気づくんだ。
What I yearned for most was a neighbor. Someone to share my solitude and all the sorrows in my heart besides. I resolved myself. Like the demon who created me, I would create my own family. Aww. It was much easier to create an effigy than I had imagined. However, they had no will of their own and would only obey my orders. The means by which I was created was endlessly complicated and mystical. I had to resort to a different method. The creation of an effigy through a gemstone. Gems made for a remarkable conduit for magecraft. If used as a core, I thought it may be sufficient yet to create new life. But things did not go as I planned. I tried with a number of different gems, but the results were always dolls with no independent thought. I was missing something, and it was through Elsa that I thought I had found my answer. Elsa was possessed by a curse, one with an azure glint. On her person was a gemstone that led all those who held it to their untimely doom.
死体から宝石を生み出す術式はあの悪魔から教わっていた。呪われた少女の死体からならば強力な宝石を生み出せるのではないか。そしてその宝石を核にすれば宝石人形を完成させられるかもしれない。
Tragedy, gemstones, and an effigy too. At the end of it all, it was a perfect equation. Despair only enhanced the glow that the resulting gem would possess, and consequently make the effigy more human. I watched on as Elsa was about to be slaughtered by her fellow man. I simply had to wait and collect her corpse once the commotion died. Everything lined up perfectly. So that's why he was there. But I couldn't. The girl lost her dearest companion and made an enemy of the entire world. She was a spitting image of myself, back when I despaired and yearned for someone by my side. Oh. Could I have let this girl die under such circumstances? If the loneliness she bore was anything like my own, I could not stand by and affirm her death. I knew I should have let her be. Saving her would only bring me trouble. And so all I had to do was wait, and I would obtain what I was there for. But my body moved before I could think. I rushed out to save her. He was too good of a boy! Not knowing how my actions would lead me further into an unending solitude. I saved Elsa from the witch hunt, hoping that she would hoping that would bring her salvation. Therefore, I could not understand why she directed her anger at me. Her scream tore through me like a knife. She lashed out at me with a burning hatred in her eyes. Her nails dug deep into my arm. The fear and confusion inside her exploded all at once.
俺は敵じゃない。あなたを助けに来ただけだ。
My words were powerless to reach her. When I tried to approach her, she pushed me away and unleashed all the malice that had been building up inside her.
どうして私を助けたの？誰が助けてって言ったのよ。
She no longer discerned between friend and foe. In her eyes, the world must have seemed incredibly chaotic. Everything that breathed and walked sought to hurt her. Therefore, she rejected everything.
死にたかったのに。あの場所で死ねたら、リュシー様と一緒に天へ登ることができたのに。どうして？
Her cries rang throughout the room as it faded into the into the dark.
生きる希望なんてどこにもないの。
I was rendered speechless.
助けてくれなんて私はお願いしてない。
Then she pleaded.
殺してよ。
Her terrible request left a deep wound in me.
私を殺して。あの人のいない世界に生きる意味なんてない。
I was truly naive. Her despair far surpassed what I could comprehend. But I could not give up.
大丈夫だ、イルサ。
She was not alone. Not anymore. I could be there for her.
ここにはあなたを傷つける人はいない。だからゆっくり休んでくれ。
But was this really for her sake? Of the two of us present, who was it that felt joy to have someone by their side? Oh. Oof. I couldn't do anything until Elsa wore herself out and then asleep. Then I carried her deep into the woods where I had a hidden house. No one would find us there. I could protect her from all who sought to harm her.
傷が治っている。
Elsa woke up and saw my arm regenerate.
あなた人間ではないのね。
Once she learned of my origins, her rage for me revived in full force.
悪魔の存在がこの惨劇を生み出したんだ。そうじゃなきゃこんなことが起きる
No,
はず
no, 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 no. He's a good one. I knew that wasn't how she truly felt. She simply needed something to blame. She could not bear the pain otherwise.
ねえ、悪魔だったら殺してよ。今すぐに私を殺して。このままだと頭がおかしくなる。
Damn, that Sensei is doing a great job.
俺はあなたを救いたくて。
遅いの、もう。
The more we talked, the more we hurt each other.
あなたには私を救えない。できることといえば殺すことだけ。
Her mind had broken beyond all hopes of repair. She simmered with hatred on the day she saw me and muttered and sobbed to herself on the night she did not.
どうすればよかったんだ。
I could only question my own actions every time I heard her cry. Those days continued with no end in sight.
俺は彼女のために何ができる？どうしたら彼女を？
I could not muster the strength to end her life. Once she was gone, I would be all alone again.
死なないで。
Oh. Remy, Remy. That was my only wish.
お願い。生きて。
The truth was that I kept her alive for my own selfish needs. After a long time, Elsa finally started to show signs that she was healing. She no longer screamed upon seeing me. Instead, she was silent. I knew whatever I said would only hurt her, so I limited our contact to the bare minimum. All I could do was take care of her needs.
食事はここに置いていく。
I needed to be patient with her.
弱みの用意ができている。着替えもここに。
Though we were not yet on speaking terms, she started to do as I told her. She no longer asked me to take her life. I didn't know what was on her mind, but it seemed she was willing to live. That alone filled me with indescribable relief. It took an even longer time for further change to happen. It started when we passed by each other in the hallway, where once she had always looked away, she would now make the tiniest gesture to acknowledge my presence. We gradually began to make conversation. At first, it was just awkward greetings, but that was enough to dispel the silence between us. The few words she did speak showed that she was regaining her composure. Time healed even the most painful of wounds. I couldn't save her through my words or actions, but that my efforts were helping her along the road to recovery filled me with a sense of pride. I could never forget the first time Elsa spoke to me of her own accord.
悪魔と呼ばれながら何のために生きているの？
Of course, I wasn't conceited enough to think that she had completely healed.
寂しくて死にたくならない。
Her words were a sharp knife that cut deep.
そんなことはない。
Perhaps a part of me was still lonely, even then. It felt like her eyes saw right through me.
あなたがいるから寂しくない。
お人形さんは嘘つきだね。
I couldn't prove her wrong. Aw. As more time passed, it became even clear that Elsa was changing. She didn't hole up in her room, and she would even join me at the dinner table. I would catch her staring out the window into the distance, as if entranced in daydream as the sunlight gently enveloped her.
あなたは料理が上手なんだ。お裁縫も。
There was kindness in her voice that wasn't there before.
私のこと嫌いにならないの？ひどいことたくさん言ったのに。
俺は
My heart fluttered at the sight of her smiling sincerely, serenely.
あなたに生きて欲しかった。
I was glad that I never gave up on her. She had found a reason to keep going, and nothing could have made me happier.
生きていれば新しい未来がある。あなたには前を向いて生きてほしい。
眩しいな。
She wasn't alone anymore, and neither was I.
お人形さん。
どうした？
お人形さんはいつまで隣にいてくれるの？
あなたが安らかに眠れるその日まで。
Ooh. Ooh. Hmm.
じゃあ死ぬまで一緒にいてくれるんだ。
そのつもりだ。
I answered right away.
本当に眩しいよ。
She smiled as she averted her gaze. I didn't understand the meaning behind her gesture.
ねえお人形さん、
どうした？
私何かお礼がしたいの。お人形さんが一番欲しいものは何？
俺は
I hesitated to voice what I truly wanted.
家族が欲しい。
So
寂しいのは
man.
嫌いなんだ。
そう。
It seemed she had anticipated my answer. She didn't say anything else. She just quietly nodded.
おやすみなさい、お人形さん。
あ、おやすみ。
Those were her last words. Oh no, don't leave him alone. Oh no. My poor boy doesn't know what he's doing. Ugh. The next day she hanged herself in her own. All she left was a note bearing a single sentence.
私の死体でお人形さんの家族を作ってください。
I cursed my own foolishness. Oh, God. I knew it was coming too, man!
そうか。
After all this time, I finally realized the truth.
俺には誰も救えないんだ。
The mere memory of that day was enough to drive me mad. Myriad crosses of light pierced through me. Ange held my head in her grip as she mercifully gouged into my past trauma.
辛かったね、レミ。
Oof.
あなたの救いの手はイルサには少しも届いていなかった。それどころか死ぬ理由を与えてしまった。イルサ、
違う。俺は
Was it really not?
それでイルサの死体を使って宝石人形を作り出したわけですか。
己の孤独を埋めようとして。
Elsa chose death in her last moments. Despite all my efforts, she chose to embrace solitude and die. The day I found her corpse cruelly swinging from the rope was the day I tasted true despair.
お人形さんは私のために助けてくれたの。
I heard Lazriel's voice.
それとも私の新鮮な死体が欲しかったから助けてくれただけ。
turned around to find Elsa staring back at me.
Leslie.
Did Elsa see through me all along? Did she know that I initially wanted her remains? Or was it my yearning for companionship that she perceived?
あの時の優しさは嘘だったの。
The image of her corpse wouldn't leave my mind. It seared itself into my brain to torment me for all eternity.
俺は
What could I have done for her?
なはずじゃなくて。
I was never able to stop asking myself that one question. And never once did I find an answer.
ただイルサのためにしてあげたかった。本当にそれだけだったんだ。
What was the reason Elsa had to perish? Oh! Title drop! Title drop! Because I pushed her towards that end. I could no longer recall how she looked when she was at peace. In my mind, she was either writhing in pain, or worse, old and lifeless.
生きていてごめんなさい。
I was a demon's effigy, yet I dared to yearn for happiness.
生まれてきてごめんなさい。
No! I admired humans and came to want a family of my own. Even though my hands were unfit to soothe anyone, perhaps I existed only to drag others down into the depths of misfortune with me.
生きたいと願って
No!
ごめんなさい。
I...
幸せになりたかった。
That was all I wanted.
じゃあお人形さん
Elsa cackled.
罪を認めて死んでくれる？
あ
What? If that was what she wished for, may her hatred consume me and return me to ashes.
違う！
Oh! Yeah! Hit him! Yeah, exactly! Hit him with the nuh-uh. Yeah, yeah, you know what? Sometimes when your homie acting kind of dumb, hit him with the uh-huh. Nuh-uh. Yeah. Hit him with the nuh-uh. Stupid. Idiot. Buffoon. Ilsa's phantom vanished the moment Lazriel spoke up.
レミ君の優しさはちゃんとイルサに伝わっていた。あの子はただそれをうまく伝えられなかっただけ。
Huh? The two souls that resided in her body intertwined. Together they brought forth a miracle that could never be. The shade of Elsa who wished for my death was gone. Had never been there at all. I should have known that was nothing but an illusion conjured by Anj.
イルサ。
I also knew that Ilsa's soul did not reside in Lazriel. The dead do not return, they only reincarnate. Her memories were all that should have remained, and yet...
聞いて、お人形さん。
I couldn't tell if I was dreaming.
ごめんなさい。ちゃんと伝えればよかったのに。私の弱さがお人形さんを苦しめてしまった。
I got goosebumps all over, man. My instincts were screaming up at me, telling me that this was the real Elsa in front of me.
愛していたの。
Here she was, telling me all the things I never got to hear from her in life. It would be the very first time she ever opened up to me.
私はね、リュシー様のことを本当に愛していました。私を残して死んでしまったことさえあなた様らしいと思ってしまうくらいに恋焦がれていたのです。 それは呪いのような愛情でした。
I could never have been what Lucy was to her. I had to learn that the hard way.
だけどそこに憎しみや恨みの気持ちはなかったんだよ。私が首を吊らなければいけなかったのはそれが理由じゃないの。
俺を恨んでいないの。だってあなたは俺を残して死んでしまって、だからあの時救い出したことをいつまでも恨み続けているんだって。
違うよ、お人形さん。伝えるのが下手でごめんなさい。私はお人形さんに心から感謝しています。
え？
I felt something drip down my cheeks. My tears flowed without pause.
あなたのおかげで安らかに天に昇ることができました。リュシー様が愛した私のままに。それはお人形さんのおかげ。
でも俺は
生きることが救済と等しいわけじゃないの。自分の終わりを選んだことを許してください。それが私の救いには必要だったから。憎しみなんてものは必要なかったのです。リュシー様を愛しながら失った悲しみと寄り添いながら死んでいく。それこそが私の救いだったのです。
That was what she
こ
needed.
の悲しみを失ってしまえ
Oh, sorry.
ば、私は私ではなくなってしまうから。
That was what she needed.
だから胸を張ってほしい。あなたは私の孤独を救ってくれたの。それだけは覚えていてほしいです。
Her words reached deep into my soul. At last, these were words I'd wanted to hear all this time.
どうして俺を一人にしたの？
生きることに耐えられなかったから。
イルサはそれで幸せだったの？
うん。
She smiled at the very end.
あまりにも幸せすぎたから死ぬことにしたの。だからありがとう。
そんな。
I couldn't comprehend it. I could only grasp being happy to be alive. Could one be happy to die?
でもイルサがそう言うのなら。
She was happy. I alone must never deny her that.
もし私の気持ちを知りたいなら誰かに恋をしてみて。そしたらきっとわかるかも。
人形に恋なんて。
大丈夫だよ。お人形さんは誰よりも人の心がわかる人だから。
There was compassion in her face as she reassured me.
いつかあなたは燃えるような恋をする。その時になったら自分の気持ちに正直になってね。
ああ。
I wiped my tears away as I met her eyes. I didn't want to be a sobbing mess in front of her.
二度と会うべきじゃないと思っていたけれど、こんな風に時間をもらえたのは嬉しかったな。死んだ後ならちゃんとお人形さんとお話できる。
俺は生きているうちにあなたとお話ししたかった。
ごめんね。でも生きているうちはリュシー様しか見えていないから。
それもあなたらしいと思う。
I was sure that I didn't grasp even half of the meaning behind her words, but the feeling was more than enough.
そろそろさよならだね。
待って。
Hearing that it was time to say goodbye, I panicked. I still hadn't conveyed to her what I needed to.
俺は
伝わっているよ、お人形さんの優しさは。
Even so, I had to say it. I knew that if I didn't express these feelings now, I'd regret it for the rest of my life. But I was just too awkward and inexperienced to put my emotions into words.
イルサ、あ
So I stopped thinking. I let my instincts drive me.
りがとう。
Damn! Oh, God. More than a farewell, I want to convey my Oh, God, hit me in the head.
それは私のセリフなのにな。
Elsa started to disappear.
じゃあね、お人形さん。あなたの幸せを遠くの彼方から見守っているね。
さよなら、イルサ。
I teared up again. I didn't blink as I watched her pass on.
アズリエルのことよろしくね。
あ
I was able to look forward. I would never forget those words she left me with. Oh, dang. But how am my boy gonna get out of this? It was strange. My conversation with Elsa took place somewhere where time had no meaning. Before I knew it, I was yet again skewered by countless lights as Anj stood before me wielding the Sarah's might.
夢でも見ていましたか？
あ、そうだな。
It was no mere dream, it was a small miracle.
幸せな夢を見た気がする。
過去のトラウマをえぐったはずですが、聞いていませんね。やはり人形に心はなかったということでしょうか。
Anj did not perceive the miracle that had occurred.
さあ、終わりにしましょうか。悪魔の人形に正義の鉄槌を。
Her prayers meant nothing to me. All I cared to do was get a handle on my own situation and face reality.
生きるよ。
Oh, yeah, yeah. Hit him with that. Hit him with the nah, bro. See? Hit him with the nah, bro. My blood poured out as I clumsily pulled the crosses from my body. My hatred and sadness drained away alongside it.
それがイルサの願いなら。
まだ動けるのですか？
I would not let her wish go to waste. Her kindness must not return to ash.
時計は止まった。
Oh, that's so hard. The demon who created me granted me strength. Violence that surpassed the angel's fears.
止まった。そして真夜中のように。
An all-encompassing nihilism. It renders all in his eyes to nothingness.
永遠な虚無を。
嘘。
Dang, my boy OP? He OP like that? What the heck? How we do that? Inevitably, all of creation was fated to lose meaning in death. The angels were no exception. They too would one day return to the void. The innumerable crosses in the sky all lost their light and crumbled. Darkness encroached and usurped the seraph's authority. Anj fell to the ground, unable to comprehend the phenomenon before her eyes.
一体何が？ミカエル様の力が失われて。
Even the cord's penalty held no power before despair. The angels in heaven cowered in fear of the strength I inherited.
その程度で俺が殺せるわけがないだろう。
My body was torn beyond recognition, but it was already starting to regain its shape. The light the angels wielded had no hope of erasing the darkness in me.
ありえません。それは一つの存在が有していい力では。
Yeah, nobody really should. Crunch. I didn't hesitate. I would keep going until she surrendered. Her pure white wings twisted as I crushed them like an insect.
四天使ミカエルは何のために停戦協定を結んだ？それはかの天使ですら悪魔の人形を滅ぼすことができなかったからだ。
そんなバカな。
戦争を望むなら答えてやろうか。あの悪魔を殺した恨みはまだ忘れていないぞ。
Oh, dang. Their war meant nothing to me.
俺の前から消えてくれ。そして二度と現れるな。
All the world's pain and malice concentrated into a single point. And that I then unleashed. The encroaching wave of darkness consumed all that was divine. The darkness swallowed the angel's brilliance, consuming Anj from the inside out. It allowed her no means to resist.
どうしてですか？こんなのが世界に許されていいはずが。私は間違っていません。あなたは存在してはならない。
Before she vanished, I spoke to her.
視天使に伝えておけ。
An unprecedented singularity.
誰のための相互不可侵だ。
Thus, the darkness consumed all light. Oh, dang. Yeah, but then Ruby's gonna be like, no! Oh, never mind, I guess not. Lazriel and I stood as the dawn illuminated the fields around us. The domain we were trapped in vanished once Anj retreated.
終わったよ、ラズリエル。
傷が。
心配はいらないよ。すぐに治るから。ラズリエルみたいに早くはないけど、俺も人形だから。
痛くないの？
痛い。でも、それだけだ。
I'd endured worse.
イルサは、どうして？
My words wouldn't come out right. What was I even trying to say?
レミ君、
Lazriel embraced me as she whispered in my ear.
助けてくれてありがとう。
It was Lazriel who was in front of me now. Her face, her voice, all of her, it wasn't Elsa anymore. She was just Lazriel. That was all I needed.
苦しかった。本当は間違っているんじゃないかって思っていた。ヒルサの死体を使って宝石人形を作るなんて。だからアンシュの裁きの言葉が正しい気がしていた。生まれたあなたにもどう接していいかわからなくて、もしかするとまたイルサの時のような結末になってしまう気がして。
Ever since I came to know hurt and solitude, my tears have flowed without abate. Here I was, demon effigy and enemy of the angels, breaking down in front of her.
同じでいい。
Lazriel didn't falter.
同じでいいんだよ、レミ君。イルサは幸せだった。救われたからイルサのまま生き、イルサとして死ぬことができたの。だから
わからない。死ぬことは不幸なはずだ。生きた証が消えてなくなってしまう。
そんなわけない。
Her words struck a chord within me. I felt my emotions well up.
イルサの死には意味があった。私とレミ君がそれを証明している。
I couldn't argue against that. I fell silent.
だからね、レミ君。私のことも幸せにしてよね。イルサと。
Beneath the morning light, Lazriel's visage was that of an angel. And this was perhaps the first time I had ever truly faced her.
わかった。
They get married or something? As long as we were alive, we were proof that Elsa once lived.
私は君を一人にはしないよ。
The loneliness I felt hadn't disappeared, but I would embrace it as I walked forward. Roses ye twinkling. What was that about Rose me being a twink? Balsam be sprinkling. Fluttery, thickening, secretly quickening. Leaflet be wing that are. Rosebud and ringed that are. Hasten to bloom. Purple and green burst. Spring from the gloom. Paradise sheen burst. Into his tomb. What the hell is that? Lazriel's perspective, there's still more. Rosebud mentioned, yeah. Some time passed since the events of that day. The witch hunts meant we couldn't visit the nearby town anymore. The townsfolk suspected Ruby of witchcraft, so it wasn't a safe place for her to be.
二人はお人形さんだったんだ。
Both of us mustered up the courage to reveal the truth to her, but her shock was momentary. For someone as sheltered as her, she likely didn't grasp the full weight of what this meant.
でも、レミはレミだし、ラズタンはラズタンだもん。何も変わらないよね。
To the brave little girl who spoke up against face of evil, angels, demons, and effigies meant nothing. What mattered was that what was inside of us shone brightly.
アンシュはどうなったの？
The night before he left, I asked Remy what he was packing, while he was packing.
殺してはいない。アンシュには借りがあったから。
Ruby had told us about what happened.
ルビアを助けてくれたのはアンシュだった。彼女がいなければ今頃どうなっていたか。
But we only learned of Ansh's help long after a confrontation. Dead or not, I believed Remy wouldn't have killed her regardless.
天使や悪魔は直接この世界に干渉できない。だから悪魔は人格に取り付き狂わせることで意のままに操る。
天使の使徒が悪人であるジョン・スミスに手を貸してもよかったの？
考え方が特殊なんだ。大いなる正義の前には小さな悪など気にしない。アンシュにとって俺は人間を犠牲にしてでも排除すべき対象だった。
The boy in front of me was a demon effigy, persecuted by the angels. But I knew better. His heart was kinder and more pure than anyone's.
これからもラズリエルを巻き込んでしまうかもしれない。こんな状況下であなたを作ってしまったことが申し訳なくて。
気にしてないよ。
I shook my head and smiled back.
だってレミ君が守ってくれるもん。だったら安心だね。
ラズリエル。
Why do they always say his full name? Because John is too much of a common name. John Smith, however, that's not as common. I had the right to live my own life, didn't I? That was why he gave me my name. It was okay for me to live as Lazariel.
あの日からイルサの夢を見ることがなくなったの。きっと魂が召されたのね。
Remy said that Elsa's will didn't live on within me. But in that one moment when the miracle occurred, I was sure I saw her spirit. That was why I chose to believe. I believed that Elsa's soul had resided within me.
ねえ、どうして女の子なの？レミ君が作ったお人形さん。男の子じゃなくて女の子だったのは？
His mouth was agape as he started to blush.
違う。俺は自分の都合で作ったわけじゃ。
あ、わかった。レミ君が私のお洋服を作ってくれた時にサイズがぴったりだった理由。
Oh dang.
私の体のことはレミ君が一番知っているんだね。
I piled it on to try to get him to show his flustered expression. I liked seeing him composed, but this side of him was even more adorable.
あなたが女の子だったのはきっとイルサの意志だ。
Remy stumbled over his words as he tried to excuse himself.
イルサは天使に憧れていた。その思いを受け継いだ姿が今のラズリエル。あなたの名前もイルサが由来だ。だから俺は。
知ってる。
I couldn't resist a coy smile.
ちょっとからかっただけ。
Hidden beneath his composure like a treasure was kindness. Every glimpse I got of it made me smile all the brighter.
ねえ、私は宝石人形なんだよね。何の宝石なの？
ハックマナイトだ。
Hackerman? She was a hackerman? Remy whispered the name to me tenderly.
その姿は透き通るような美しさを秘めていて、光によって色が変わる。あなたにふさわしい宝石だ。
素敵。
He took my hand in his. He did it so naturally that I didn't even have time to react.
俺は あなたのきらめきを決して曇らせない。命をかけてここに誓おう。
He couldn't do that. It wasn't fair. His gaze enraptured me as I felt my heart melt. The gallant side of him that came out every so often lit a fire inside my heart. I felt a blush coming. It was no longer calm inside my mind. He left ripples that wouldn't wane.
悪魔ナイト。
A gemstone that changed color.
太陽に照らされると色が変わる。
What color would I become once this light passed through me?
レミ君との未来が楽しみだな。
My thoughts ran wild into the beyond. With him, I felt like I could go anywhere. The morning we were due to leave dawned calm and quiet. As the mist gently enveloped the lands, I felt a slight reluctance to part from our home.
ねえレミ、どこに行くの？
まずは東に。
呆れた。何も決めてないのね。
The sun gradually emerged from the horizon as if to bless our journey and lighten our path forward.
忘れ物はないように。
There was no need for us to turn back. We packed everything we needed for this journey. Siege with all three of them, come on.
エルサ、
I placed my hand on my chest.
もうここにはいないんだ。
My footsteps stopped for just a moment, as I recalled Elsa's words to me.
お人形さんには秘密にしておいてほしいの。
I alone was privy to her final thoughts. But most likely I would not ever need to speak of it.
私はこの気持ちを持っていくからね。
As the walking memento of Elsa's wishes, I could only keep moving forward and seeking my own happiness. I made my first confident step towards a new tale.
ラズリエル、
今行く。
Secret? What secret? I had someone to call for me. Someone to shine their light through me. That's why I remain bright and radiant. A girl's perspective? Who? Oh. Uh-oh.
私は死ななければなりませんでした。
I meant to die alongside her that day. Life without her radiance was not worth living. I thought it beautiful to die branded as the witch while cursing the lives of our enemies. Why was I the one who survived? Why didn't I tie my noose and join her right away? What reason did I have to cling to life, to let him take care of me for so long?
死なないで。
It was the night he saw how haggard I was and tried to make me eat the food I rejected. I spat out abuse his way, yet he faced me with an earnest request made in tears.
お願いだから一人にしないで。
I wasn't the only one on the verge of breaking, so was he. Seeing him made me realize how must I look to a bystander. She wouldn't have wished for me to wallow and linger in my sorrow. Neither would she have wanted to see me curse others and fester in hatred. I knew that losing a loved one was a tale as old as time, that the sorrow wouldn't last forever. That pained me more than anything. Try as I might to resent those who hurt us, the sadness would one day stagnate.
イルサ。
彼の優しさは猛毒でした。彼の思いやりは呪いでした。
That was why I had to die.
私は幸せな人間だった。
That losing her saddened me, this much was proof.
ねえ、あなた様、天使のようなあなた様。私はあなた様への愛を失うことが何よりも怖いのです。この悲しみに慣れてしまうことが死ぬことよりも恐ろしい。
I knew... And I knew that this would come to pass in some distant future.
私が愛しているのはリュシー様だけ。
The brilliant days I spent with her must remain radiant within me for all eternity. If I were to turn back time, I would surely make the same choices and lose her again. That's the kind of foolish woman I was. Even the sadness I felt was so dear to me. She taught this poor girl who only knew to pray to her Lord passion and desire. These feelings were the miracle she imparted to me. If this was not happiness, then nothing could be. To have loved her within this cruel world was why I despaired at her loss. I could not let this feeling fade away.
リュシー様を愛していたのですから。この正気を失うほどの絶望が愛の証であるのなら、気が狂うほどの心の叫びが愛情の裏返しであるのなら、この痛みでさえも私は愛さなければならないのでしょう。だからお人形さん、私の悲しみを取り上げないで。
His kindness would rob me of what mattered most. No, it was more than that.
醜いものだけではないと知っていてほしい。この世すべてがあなたを害するわけじゃない。
This new feeling that sprouted within, I must never voice it. If I dared to, the thoughts I stood for to this day might fade away.
だからね、お人形さん、私はあなたに救われるわけにはいかなかったのです。この悲しみだけは私だけのものでならなくてはならない。
I'm struggling, guys. I'm struggling. This was the only way I could remain myself.
私は女の子が好きなのです。
Hell yeah.
新しい世界を見せないで。私に次があると思わせないで。私にまだ可能性があるなんて信じたくもないのです。あなたの優しさは毒になる。その毒はあなた様への愛を風化し、色あせたものへと変えてしまう。お人形さん、お人形さん、このままではダメになる。私は私ではいられなくなってしまう。今まで過ごしてきた私のあり方を否定し変えられてしまう。そんなことは望まない。望むはずがないのです。心の中の天使様はいつまでも私に微笑みをくれる。
There was no room inside for anyone else.
だからね、お人どうか一人で旅立つことを、あなたの思いを拒絶することを許してください。あなたを一人にしてしまうことを許してください。
I can't let Lucy be alone.
普通に生きていたら、私は
I made a silent wish and carved it into my soul. May this wish serve the gemstone effigy he desired from the bottom of his heart. The girl born from my remains wouldn't be perfect, but I had faith that she'd treasure him.
祈りのような願いを込めて。ああ、こうしている間にも心は本音を口にしようとしています。もう二度とあなたと顔を合わせるわけにはいきません。この思いを自覚してしまったら、私はもう戻れなくなる。悲しみを過去にすることは絶対に許せないのです。引き裂かれた後にですら愛情は残るのですから。
Oh, God. It's so good.
私の世界で一番大切な気持ちを守るために。だから私は死ななければなりませんでした。さようなら、お人形さん。愛しています、リュシー様。
May my life end while my love for her still burns. Yeah, and then, you know, when she meets Lucy-sama, Lucy-sama's gonna slap her in the back of the head. Oh, he's stupid. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, what? 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 We get a thing? Oh. What is a Putrika? What is a Putrika? What? They got a song too? What? Oh man. So we finally figured out the reason she must perish. So oh. Are we done? Are we going to title, or are we seeing what second cut's gonna be like at all? Second cut? Anything about second cut? First cut? Oh, only first cut? Oh, the new title. Oh. If I click extra, what do I see? Oh. The reason she must perish. Wait, I don't know which one was like the singing one. Ooh, that was a 10 out of 10 story. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful story. Thank you very much, Scientix, for hanging out with me while we played this. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome game. It was insane. It was insane. The story was absolutely gorgeous. Story gorgeous. Characters beautiful. Oh man. Doomed Yuri. Yeah, this was Doomed Yuri. Doomed Yuri. I'm going to, let's see, if you look at their stuff, Kagami Games, published on Steam. Totometori is the developer. But yeah, Kagami Games. If this is first cut, surely there must be a second cut, right? I'm gonna be on the lookout for any more of this series, man. This was spectacular writing. This was absolutely spectacular writing. Great job. Great job. Super duper great job. Alright. Otsu very much Kagami Games. Otsu very much Kagami Games. Second cut coming out? I have no idea. Well, all I know is that I gotta be on the lookout. Alright. Oh, before I go, let me say thank you to our thumbnail artist. Let's see. We have a thumbnail art from Kyo HRVS. Thank you for the Putrika first cut art. We have Dolce cosplaying as Lazitan. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Thank you very much, Kyo HRVS. So on the schedule, tomorrow's a day off. Well, it's not really a day off. I'm working tomorrow. Chaka Samon says, Haishin! Otsukare-sama! Arigato! Otsu! But yeah. Awesome. Very awesome. So tomorrow, it's a day... I'm not streaming tomorrow, but I have work to do tomorrow. Mandy Rose 50 months, thank you so much! I'm going to be preparing for Saturday's Minecraft death game. I actually don't really know who's going to appear. I'll be playing as well, so you know, we'll see how it goes. And then Sunday special Zatsudan, but the most important thing is Ver's debut, 10 o'clock in the morning. Oh no, sorry, 10 o'clock at night. PM AM. Yoshida, Otsubiyo, thank you so much, Yoshida. Ver's debut Saturday morning for me. Nighttime JST, 9 AM EST. Oh yeah, Doppio learns how to read a clock. And then during that night, 12 hours later, we're going to do that Minecraft death game thingy. Alright, it'll be on the Enchanted server too. Emu says, Otsubiyo! Steki na... Ohanashi? No. 素敵な配信じゃないね。ありがとう。こちらこそありがとう M。物語。物語。Sorry. Leo Nerune says, thanks for the fun stream today, Pio-chan. Thanks for the story to the end. Glad to see through it, Pio and Sidekick. I love your voice. Thank you so much for loving my voice. Thank you. Super duper. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much for watching the game with me. It was nice to experience a story and be like, guys, this is happening. I got to experience a roller coaster of emotions. Nisa's glad you returned, giving us an amazing story to experience together. Loved everything of this. Thanks for your VA too. Was super invested. Looking forward to more of Kagami games as Totometri works, and yours of course. Thank you, Ni. Doppio works coming soon, maybe. Maya says, thank you so much for playing such an amazing games. I was so invested from beginning to end. You have a great taste in games, always finding hidden gems. Thank you, Maya. Yes, this was an amazing hidden gem. Thank you, Kagami Games, for asking me to play this. Kaki says, thank you for the fun time. I had a fun time too. Thank you for being here. Blake Shago says, your VA was incredible and the story was amazing and beautiful. Otsupio. Man, just thinking about John's character arc was insane. Like, at first we liked John, then we hated John. Then we really hated John. Then we absolutely hated John. Man, so many characters. Brilliant writing, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like, art. Musical's brilliant too. Very much well-deserved. Standing, clapping ovation. Let's go. Alright, and that'll be the end of me today. I'll see you guys soon for more game. But for now, I say goodbye. Thank you very much for being here. See you real soon. Alright, let's see. Who's streaming right now? Zeal is playing Minecraft. I playing Deliverance. Millie playing Clay Obscure. Elira Stardew Valley. Haka doing something. Ryoma playing game? I can't tell what he's playing. Claude doing something. Let's raid into Claude. Horse. Let's see. Horse raid. Wait. Alright. Bye-bye.